I have it set to a 7-day timer, and then it cancels every week just because I've been getting bots joining our Discord. Dix, thanks for joining us. Liam's always happy to be here, right, Lee? So Key is not on staycation. He's back. Key got stretchered out of the bar like Romanoff.
What?
That's it. All right, pay-per-view time. Yeah, Key couldn't miss it. Again, can't miss a Carly Judice fight. All right.
Peggy's so excited to talk about that fight.
Yeah, I am. So, all right, let's get into that. They changed all the buttons on here, so I got to see how to screen share your screen. All right, our first fight of the night here. We got Carly Judice versus Nicole Caliari. Caliari 8-3, Judice 4-2, 26 versus 28 years old. Line on these two ladies, you can get I think you get Caliari anywhere from plus 260 to plus 275. Judice now anywhere from minus 330 to minus 365. Low-level girls fight. Key, we'll let you take care of it. Welcome back. Who's going to win this low-level girls fight?
Yeah, this is the only reason I'm back. I cut the vacation short just for this fight. I have 4 units on Ernesta versus Caliari, and I bet Caliari on Dana White Contender Series. And I played minus 310 and minus 450 on Carly Judice against Dubin, and I also played her ITD at plus 210. I think that those were crazy numbers, and I think that this line has caught up and has a little bit of recency bias because I'm old enough to remember when people were making actual dog shot arguments for Dubin against Judice. And now one head kick, and now all of a sudden everybody wants to parlay Judice. This is pretty interesting, but I think that Judice is legit and the real deal. I've been high on her ever since their Ernesta fight. I think that she's gotten tough matchmaking with the Gabriela Fernandez fight, in a fight where she showed very well, in my opinion. I think Gabriela is probably the most physical striker there is in the division, and she showed herself very well. I think in this fight, Caliari in my opinion, is a gas bag. I don't think that she has good cardio at all. I think that there's not much process on the feet other than just throw hard and swing big. The grappling, I think Ernesta made her look better than she actually is grappling wise. Caliari will sell out for arm bars off of her back. Part of one on Dana White Contender Series doing just that. But I don't rate her actual process much at all. I think Judice is the better fighter, much better cardio. The diversity in her striking is just beautiful. I mean, it's really fun to watch. I mean, she is one of my top fighters to watch on the women's side because it's just so much going on. I think she has real rhythm in her boxing. I wish that she would be a little bit more defensively responsible, and maybe that's something that will catch up with her as she ages on, and hopefully that's something that she can clean up in her game. As she does get hit a little too much, but she has a good chin. She's durable. She's tough. And there's nobody that's going to outwork her. So I think that Judice wins this off of volume, cardio. The takedown defense that we have seen of her, if you look back at some of her regional, even amateur fights, has been decent. Her get-ups has looked pretty decent also. So I would expect for her to be just fine on the ground here against Caliari. And again, I don't rate Caliari's wrestling. Outside of round 1, I don't see her getting takedowns. And on the feet, Judice is the longer fighter. She's going to be able to use that jab. The reach advantage is obviously there. I think it's a 6-inch reach advantage. Yeah, 6. So I think that Judice will look all of what her price tag is. Caliari maybe has some moments early. Peg better pray to God she wins round 1 for his spread of the week bet. But I have a feeling that Judice might pack her up in her home state here.
That's actually, so we'll go right into that. Spread of the week this week, plus 130 is Nicole Caliari. Exactly what he said. I think that first round, she wins at a pretty high clip. Sure, Carly Judice is going to be the better striker. She's going to be a lot bigger than her. She's not going to be stronger than her, I don't think. But what we saw in Carly Judice's fight against Ernesta and against Gabriela Fernandez is that she can be taken down. Is she hard to hold down? Yes, but I think, like he also mentioned, Caliari is also a very advantageous grappler when it comes to jiu-jitsu. We watched her, what was it, heel hook, La Framboise? Is that how it pronounced? Strav, the girl that she fought? Either way, that girl, she's a jiu-jitsu black belt, and she got ankle picked and heel hooked in 90 seconds. So she's obviously very good on the ground. I think that she will have wrestling success here on the feet. we don't want to be on the feet. I can tell you that right now. So this is going to be a risky one for spread of the week, but I'm going to definitely take the shot on Caliari plus 3.5. That's where I'm sticking it. Droff, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw the fake tits and the fake lips, and you were like, "Let me bet this." I don't know, Peg, but I don't think she's bad. Like, let me say that right now. I don't think she's bad, but when you have an OnlyFan, you have fake tits, fake lips, and you know trying to win fight in the UFC. Long term, I'm not sure about it. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't like. She's a BJJ black belt, like you said. Her grappling is fine, but her cardio is not really good. And I'll say that I didn't think her striking was good at all, but after her last fight, I think it's actually pretty decent. She's swinging the pocket, and she's not gonna like quit, But considering how good I rate Judy's striking, I think her volume for the division is insanely good. But also, like he mentioned, she's pretty durable, and she also carry power, and her cardio is really good. Like the fight that she lost on Dana White Contender Series against Ernesta, by the way, like one of the best fight women's MMA on Dana White Contender Series ever I've watched in my life. That was an insane fight, but she took that fight on short notice. I think people tend to forget, she was winning early and she slowed down a bit in round 3, but I mean, she took that fight on really short notice. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Key, but I think it was the first time she got in a fight after the first round in that fight. Yeah. Correct? Yeah. And she took that on short notice and went to war. And she was still not experienced in MMA. So now we're seeing her growing in the UFC, going to 15 minutes against girl like Fernandez. And in her last fight, she got a big KO. Her kicks are pretty good. Her head kick's going to be money here. And I just think I trust her to land more. Like she's going to double or triple up Caliari on volume. And her takedown defense to me seems pretty strong. So if she can get her down, I think she's pretty much fucked. And especially in round 2 and 3, I think she's going to get cooked. And Judice also goes to the body, which I don't think is going to help Nicole because she's going to slow down even more. So yeah, to me here, it's a Judice spot. I think that she could potentially knock her out. And if not, I'm really confident that she's going to land more volume. I don't think she's going to get submitted, honestly. And I don't think that Nicole can get, 2 or 3 takedowns and get 2 rounds of control. I don't see that happening. And for the spread, if they go to distance, it could look good. But honestly, I think there's a chance that she get knocked out here. So I don't like it that much. And Judice, I think her ceiling in MMA is pretty high, considering her style, her size, or her volume, cardio, all of that, right? So I think she's going to go far. And she also did a part of that training camp with Rosenau and Eunice. So that showed me that girl want to learn, want to grow even more. And at only 26 years old, I think the sky could be the limit for a Judice here. Pretty high on her, honestly. I think she's a future top 15 girl.
Liam, you got a good take here for this fight?
Not a super strong take. I would just say, I always look at the lines and see if anything surprises me. I'm surprised to see that Judice is more likely to win inside the distance, or by submission in particular, compared to Caliari, which I just thought was a little bit shocking, honestly. Like, I think Caliari is basically sub or bust in this matchup as far as I'm like gaming it out in my head. I think she can start off okay. I think she basically is relying on takedowns to win this fight at a high clip. I don't like the size or the volume dynamic for her if the fight stays on the feet. So for me, the things that jumped off the page was Caliari by sub, because I think it's most for win equity, and it's 10-1. And then I think that Judice round 2 and 3, the fight not to go the distance. Like I just feel like Caliari has maybe been let off the hook a couple times because most women don't hit very hard. And I think if you start to get tired and you can't get your game going and you're getting beat up, and everybody's cheering against you, it's kind of the fight archetype where you check out and give up in the latter stages. And I think on the other side, like Judice, like who's the best girl she's grappled with? Ernesta or something. It's just like I don't think she's been grappling with super high level opponents. So I think her ground game is an unknown. Could it be great? Absolutely. Training with Rose, doing a lot of the right things in terms of preparation, but it's just an unknown for me. So if she goes out there and just gets meme armbarred, like, could it look like Shauna Bannon and Pooja Tomar? I wouldn't put it past him. It's WMMA, but ultimately, I think Carly Judice is the better fighter. I think she's being set up to win here. So give me Carly Judice, round 2 or 3 as the pick.
In her own town also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Crispy.
Yep, that's right. Yo, shout out Daz. Hope the finger's feeling better. Glad you
Oh yeah,
appreciated
man.
our
Hope
moment
you're
of
doing better,
silence.
bro. It was nasty, man.
Yeah, so hopefully your finger's all good. Let's see, Judice, seeing volume.
I
What's
agree with
happening,
that.
Chronic Combat Boys? What's going on? Fight Talk, thanks for joining. Fatima versus Smelly all over again. I hope not. Sharp Group, appreciate it. I don't know what CCC.
Trying to come back.
Chronic comeback.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Too old to understand, right?
The OnlyFans. Yo, so I thought the OnlyFans fade kind of died. I thought that whole theory was dead. Is
Wait,
it back?
who killed it?
Peg killed it for his best.
Corey Sandhagen did.
But that doesn't count. We like women's side.
He's sending dick and balls like Connor, and he's winning
Right.
fight. He's about to get the belt. He's
Yeah.
about to be Sandhagen Sandman season. But people aren't ready for that. Next fight, Bruno Ferrer versus Jackson McVey. This poor guy, Jackson McVey. He's been rebooked 2 or 3 times now. Now he's getting his debut against the Hulk. I mean, Hulk's 13-2, McVey 6-0. Bruno Ferrer is anywhere from -650 to -700. McVey +475 to +480. Liam, I mean, is this an easy finish for Bruno Ferreira, or does McVey have a chance here?
I mean, I faded Bruno with Nursultan Ruzaboa at +190, so I don't think he's like invincible or anything. I think he's a good fighter. I think the judo could be a difference maker here when you've got a long, tall guy who's going to barrel forward in the clinch. Like, I would not be surprised to see him get judo tossed on his head a few times in the early going in this one. And I wouldn't be that surprised if Bruno was able to armbar him or something as well. He's shown to be pretty aggressive when he gets turtle type of situations. He's looking to dive over, judo armbar, belly down, kind of like Ronda Rousey, and that'll break your arm in half. You know, guys will tap if you put him in that. So I think he's an effective enough fighter. I think he's a dangerous guy on the feet, but is he built to cover -700 prices? I mean, just watch the Dustin Stoltzfus fight and you tell me. Like, no, it's the obvious answer to me. So I think that it's a dogger pass situation, but it's probably going to be a value loser. Like, I don't know how to evaluate McVey beating up a bunch of, with all due respect, guys he's supposed to beat up on the regional scene. And meanwhile, Bruno Ferreira has real wins in the UFC over quality guys. Like, coming in and beating RoboCop in a debut is nothing to sneeze at. The way he did it, I think, is kind of underrated. He was moving well, getting him overreacting, and then just crushed him with a counter. So I think there's some tact to what he does as well, but he fights like a wild man. It's 185 pounds. He's fighting a proximal giant that we don't know that much about. So for me, clear money line, side on the dog, but do I want to get involved in this fight? Probably not. It's probably going to be a pass for me.
Key, what are you thinking here? Ferreira or McVey?
Yeah, are you going to make Peg feel better about parlaying Ferrer at -600? That's the real question.
He's disgusting for that.
I was going to go last.
Peg's done a lot of disgusting things. He sent Conor McGregor's dick pic to the group chat yesterday.
I woke up in the morning. I had to see it on Monday, so you did too. That's how life works.
Waking up, I'm looking at it. You have to too. Like, this is insane. Peg's been on a roll with nasty shit. But yeah, I think Bruno gets it done. McVey seems like his frame is just kind of frail and just like he's there. I think that Chris Ewart was going to give him a case of the beats, and I had a bet there. Sad that he wasn't able to make weight, but I think that Bruno, this is a knockout. I really don't see how this plays out. McVey wants to be in the clinch. Bruno is fine in the clinch and has a judo background. I really don't see a path to victory here unless he just shows us something like insane that we just haven't seen in his game before. And it's just tough to know whenever you have such limited film. So Bruno by KO is my pick.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I mean, I think he's live for a submission as well. He's going to be able to do whatever he wants here. It's just a levels game. I will say I'm excited to see McVey's next fight in the UFC when they give someone, substantial and more on his level where he can actually put a fight together and everything like that. I feel like they're just kind of feeding him to the wolves here with Ferrer, unfortunately. So I don't know. I think -600 was fine. I think it's going to find the finish. Pretty.
Yeah, I think you're lagging here, Peg. But I mean, I don't know too much about this McVey guy, honestly. Like, he's a big dude for the division, good in the clinch, and seems pretty dangerous. and he's only 26, so he's going to be improving. But to me, he's still a big unknown. I don't really know how he's going to perform to this level, honestly. And Bruno has shown ability to win fights by impressive fashion, but also, losing by finish in some other fights. And, when you look at the size difference between the two guys, like Liam said, it was kind of similar to the one he had against Nursultan, when he was also a decent sized favorite. So I just think that the guy, honestly, Bruno, is the type of guy you want to bet at close odds or when he's an underdog because of how dangerous he is. Like his judo's good, his BJJ is good. He has the power, obviously, but he's undersized for the division. His cardio is not the best either. But when I try to look to fade him, I want to fade him against a guy that, has proven cardio and durability. And I just don't know that about McVey, honestly, at this level too. So I don't know if you guys found the decision fight that he had on amateur that lasted 9 minutes, but if you did, let me know because I couldn't find it personally. And
I don't think so. I think I looked for it last time when he was supposed to fight Ewert.
Yeah, I didn't find it. So I just think we're missing information on this guy, honestly, which because of that, I could only bet him, because he could be really good. I don't think he is, but I can bet against him at -600 if I don't have the data that I need, So it's dog or pass, but maybe the under 1.5. Both guys are really, massive finisher early, and it's -220, -50 though. It's not great. I don't like laying these type of price for under 1.5, but I think this one should finish under 7.5 minutes for sure.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much everyone went on this. We'll go back in the comments real quick. Talking about the OnlyFans fade being dead. Aylin Perez, Chase Hooper.
Holy fuck, you're right. Aylin Perez.
Jalen Hill. Angela Hill. Jalen Hill. Bruno Moneyline never pass. Bruno ITD because he might sub or 2KO him.
Yeah, but it's the odds gonna be like -300 or something for the ITD. That's the thing. You can't really play that.
Free moose meat. Finesse the book. What's happening, brother? Thanks for joining. Pepe leans over. Clinch Jesus. That's funny. Possible. But funny. I think he gets murked here. Maybe next time. All right, next fight here. My computer's lagging every time I try and switch tabs. Let's see. Share this tab.
Too much shit.
We got yeah. All right. Ryan Spann versus Lucas Breski. This is just like the ugliest records you see across the board right now. Ryan Spann 22-11. Lucas Breski 9-6-1. Where this fight came from and how they came up with it, I don't know. Ryan Spann again, a big favorite at -210. Lucas Breski +180. Drop. I'm gonna have you go first here. How does Ryan Spann win this fight? Sub or KO?
I think KO, but honestly, I don't really know. Like you could submit him if you want. Like Breski grappling is really bad. I'm gonna give him some credit because I don't think a lot of people will, but I think his get up game is actually pretty decent. But his takedown defense is bad. His cardio is not really good, but also his volume is good for heavyweight. So, but he doesn't have a good chin. And Ryan Spann, if there's one thing he has in round one, if you don't have a good chin, he has big power. But bro, I just watching his last fight, how bad he looked against Waldo, man, that was some bullshit. That is the type of guy that's not gonna train sometimes. That's not trustworthy. That's not even cutting weight anymore. He looked fat last time out. So I kind of want to see how he look on the scale. Because if you move up a weight and you look like the way Kennedy looked shape wise, I'm kind of fine with it. But if you look the way Spann looked last time out, I don't really like that, So I just think the guy doesn't really give a fuck, and he's just out there to trying to win fight in round one. And if it doesn't work out, then he might quit or gas. But I don't think Lucas is the type of guy to capitalize on his issues. Ryan Spann, as we know, doesn't really have a good chin, and Lucas doesn't have much power. And Ryan Spann has shit cardio. Lucas' cardio is not great either. So Spann can Spann can take him down for sure. And if he does, he has a really good guillotine. So you could get him in that. But I think if the fight extend like over 1.5, I think it's going to be a sketchy mess. Like I'm going to call it, if it goes over 1.5, I think it go the distance. That's kind of the way I see it. Because if Spann is tired, he can still get a takedown, But saying that Breski is going to get up and make him work, I don't think Breski is going to do that in round 3. you know, you made Walker work a lot. That win's aging well right now. That guy's the GOAT, Walter Walker. 3 wins by him in a row. Shout out to him for that. I know Liam, you cash on that. So I mean, I want to see Walter Walker versus Tite with us. It will be funny. So yeah, I mean, I think Span should win this fight, but you know, I don't really want to bet it. I think the under 1.5 is probably the way to go. But do I want to bet that? I don't know, man. I don't really like anything here. I think Span probably by KO, bro. But I don't have a good read on it. Like I think it could go like a lot of different ways. This fight, it's kind of a mess for me. I don't know if you guys have a better read than me, but it's not my favorite one.
I don't have a better read than you. I think you broke it down pretty well. I obviously put together a disgusting parlay for the week. Bruno is part of it. Span is part of it. I think this is an easy spot for Span. I think Breski, this is literally the fight they're giving him so that he can get a win, and they're hoping he finds a finish to kind of juice up and amp up the card. I think he's live to head and arm choke him, guillotine choke him, knock him out on the feet. I think Ryan Span gets it done pretty quickly. This is a huge step down in competition for Ryan Span being at heavyweight. I also don't think like the Waldo Costa fight wasn't like, we keep saying Waldo's not great, but Waldo's not a bad fighter. It's just got to call a spade a spade. It's coming down to the point where you got to start respecting guy at some point. He's putting together wins. So I don't know. I want to fade him.
Span looked awful.
He did. But like Waldo's also like a true heavyweight, big, long pause. Yeah. That's it. Ryan Span wins inside the distance. Pretty easy money here, I think. Liam, what are you thinking?
Well, I must say, not only am I a big fan of our guy Walter Walker for going out there and cashing the end sub plus 460, making it look free 99 in the first minute, but I actually cashed in on Łukasz Breski against Walter Walker in his UFC debut, bet him on the money line, like plus 280, it went down, bet it plus 230, it went down, and he won the fight. And if you go back and watch, the reason being is because he was able to do what he needed to in the grappling. Look how, like, honestly, shameful these heavyweight grapplers are, bro. You attempt a submission on them, and it's like the first time, and they're like, like they're screaming, they can't believe it. And again, I'm not saying that they don't hurt, but I'm just saying in the training room, most guys have gotten a feel for this. Heavyweights, it's like their first time grappling sometimes. And I think when you look at Łukasz Breski, does he do anything remarkable? No. Does he do anything dynamic and spectacular? He does not. He just does it consistently over time. And that's why I thought he was going to beat Walter Walker. I was like, if he does not get submitted, if he doesn't get embarrassed in the first round, he's going to keep working back up to his feet, and this guy's going to get tired. It's exhausting to wrestle hard over time. Just, I'll tell you guys, not something you want to make a habit of if you don't have to, right? So Ryan Span, for me, is just a no-go at Shock. I'll be perfectly frank, and it's because I think he is a quitter, I think he is a gasser, and I think he's a bad decision maker. And all those things lead to losses when you should win. And when you look at Łukasz Breski, he got knocked out by a bunch of guys who, frankly, are better athletes than he is, right? Just guys that hit harder. That exact thing could happen in this fight. But if this fight gets out of the first round, I think Łukasz Breski becomes a live favorite to win this fight by the end of the second round. And it's because I don't trust Ryan Span in extended fights. This guy went to split draw with Sam Alvey, right? The ghost of Sam Alvey. The guy has been on life support throughout his entire UFC career. And somebody asked, why would they book this fight? I can tell you my God's honest truth. I think they looked at the UFC roster and said, is there anybody that Ryan Span still has a chance of fighting and beating? And they found Łukasz Breski. They're like 1-5 in the UFC. Like pull him up from the roster. And the thing is,
he should be 2-4.
I just don't think he's trustworthy to win this fight. So like, could he beat Breski? Yes. Do I trust him? No. So for me, the angles are like Span early, or Breski in everything else, right? Round 2, 3, live, decision only. Like I could think of like 10 different ways that I would look to the Breski side here. And it's just because I think Ryan Span is that bad. Like I just, when you look at his wins on paper, he can knock out guys like Dom Reyes. That's a fantastic win, but he could lose to anybody. Like he just strikes me as that guy. The Johnny Walker fight, I'll never forgive him. That fight is ridiculous. It's embarrassing. He's disobeying his coach. His coach is like, please don't wrestle. Please, I'm begging you. I'm praying. Please don't do this. And he's like, here I go again. And he just gets TKO'd along the fence from a guy who he had on skates. So I think he's a really bad decision maker. And for all those reasons, I think Breski, if he don't die, he's probably going to win late. So whether that's round like 2 and 3 taking over or winning in the finish in round 2 and 3.
He's fluky, kind of like Kennedy is as well. Kennedy and Chuckwu, same kind of concept where like he could come out with a fluke loss very easily, which is something scary to do when you're betting him at -210.
Peg is already regretting his bet.
No, I'm happy with it. I think he's going to finish him in round 1. I kind of agree with like Liam said. If he's going out to round 1, then I'm nervous. But as long as the first 5 minutes are there, I'm happy.
You're always the type of guy to lose these type of bets too.
What do you think?
I think span round 1 is just pretty obvious here. Not much else to say. This is an absolute shit fight. I don't want to see either fight.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us. All right, this is Tafa Tuco last week. Span against Krylov. I mean, that's just a totally different story. Krylov is levels above him. Breski cashing against Walter Walker. Great cash. Waldo is fighting Pavlovich. That's kind of crazy. Kennedy did panic tap. Also, did you see how bad that like shot in on Kennedy was? Like he swung like a horrible combo, got him up his back against the fence and just dove on him and then just fell on top of the leg. It was the craziest thing you've ever seen.
You know the best part? If Walter Walker just kept throwing punches, he knocks him out in the first round. But he was so committed to cashing my end sub bet, he just shot the takedown anyway. I was like, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah,
he was on Kennedy 2-3. Just wrote in the chat, GG's. It was so funny.
That shit was like insane to watch. So.
Bro, I just laughed my ass off. It was crazy. Like everybody always was like, he's not gonna like get another heel hook. Like that's just not gonna happen, and he just does it.
Because Kennedy's posting all this shit about him being at BJJ tournaments and all this fucking training. He's posting himself in the gi and shit. And first exchange. Leg lock. Like, shit is crazy.
I mean, he was cranking it.
Rolling leg entanglement from standing had to be plus $1 million before the fight, you know?
Setting up a fucking figure 4 lock on the fucking mid thigh from standing is fucking crazy.
Give him Tai Tuivasa.
Tai does not want that fight.
No way.
He's already tapping. He tapped before that fight got announced.
He already tapped.
Yeah. All right, guys. Next fight. Talking about grappling. We got Jimmy the Brute Crout versus Marcine now. Crout 12-4-2. Marcine Prachnio.
Yeah, you're lagging, bro.
Is 17-8. I don't know what's going on with this new StreamYard, but every time I open up Tapology now, it makes me lag. And I open up a new tab. Crout -300. Marcine plus 250. Who did I just have to go first there? Did I drive go first there, or Liam?
I did go first, I think, the last fight. Liam, you can go first on this one.
Sure thing. And we're talking
Liam, go first here,
right?
Jimmy Crout.
So
Crout, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And when I look at Crout and Prachnio, I don't like either of these guys, honestly. Like, I think they're both pretty bad. I think they're both a little gassy. The dynamic offense, though, is definitely on the side of Crout. So early on, like, I think Crout is probably going to dominate this fight really easily. In the first round, I think he could throw him around. I think he could probably even land some decent shots on the feet. Crout is just not a guy that I want to trust with my money. He's a guy who's, in my opinion, very defensively irresponsible, a known gas bag, a guy who hasn't really won a fight in a long time. I think he took 4 strikes from Jamal Hill and it all broke his face. Like the guy is just standing there, hands not really in a great place to defend, just getting hit pretty clean in a lot of these fights. And I don't think Prachnio is like some electric striker. Otherwise I'd bet him, but I just think when you're getting kicked in the face at 205 pounds, like you could absolutely go to sleep from that. So for me, like Marcine Prachnio, I want to fade him against guys I know can push for 15 minutes because I know he will break. I had Vitor Petrino sub or decision as like an angle in that fight because I was like, he's going to push him and Prachnio will break. I just think Jimmy Crout, like if he can't win this fight, he absolutely should retire. I know he's like threatened it in the past. Like, bro, if you can't win this one, call it a career. It's all good. We'll all love and respect you for what you did in the past. But when you just look at like Jim Crout should have been on a higher trajectory than he is. He looked like he had more skills. He's submitted good guys. He's taken guys down, dominated on the ground. He's looked like shit in recent years. So I think that this is a make or break fight for his career. And for that reason, I'll pick Jimmy Crout to get it done via stoppage. But if I'd bet anything on this, it would be like $10 on the draw and hope that Jimmy Crout does another one,
Yeah, I played the under here. Under is minus 135 to 2.5. I think if Jimmy Crute gets a takedown, he's live to sub. He's allowed to get on top and ground and pound. I mean, he's got a decent chin. Prachnio probably is not going to knock anyone out, but if he does, it's possible. But I don't know. I think Jimmy Crute is level above on the ground than Prachnio is. I think it's just going to be like a Kimura or a sub, or some sort of sub with a ground and pound be there. So I'm just playing the under, not get involved on the money line side. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, Jimmy Crute. I think he's good here. Prachnio is the funniest watch to go through for tape. Like, it's absolutely hilarious. The head kick in the pocket against Bukauskas is like top 3 moments live for me. Like, that was absolutely hilarious to watch. I think the Crute can win on the feet here. Prachnio coming from a torn bicep, I believe. They had this book for 312. The UFC's been trying to get him this win. I believe Drav is probably going to mention that he signed a 4-fight contract deal too, so it's not like he's fighting for his job here. He has security. So they're trying to get him back on track here, obviously. I think it was an easy setup spot. He has a I win button if he wants to grapple, and I think that he also can win on the feet. Leg kicks is literally the only path here, in my opinion, for Prachnio. Crute can be leg kicked. We know that he's had knee injuries in the past, so that's the only path that I see here, truly. But outside of that, I think that Crute runs him over.
Draw, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I also agree, man. I think that it's a really good matchup for Crute, and if you look at it, probably one of the best matchup he had in years, right? Because Beato is a really good grappler, honestly, and I know he can get hurt, but he's not easy to finish, and he has really good cardio. And if you look the other fights that he had, like Menifil, right? Menifil has good takedown defense. He's strong and he's way more dangerous than Prachnio, right? And he was taking Menifil down early in the first fight, by the way. Like, he was able to get takedowns. That was pretty impressive to me. And then, after that, he got killed by Hill, obviously, who's, Hill would do bad things to Prachnio. When he was in his prime, by the way, not like the Hill that we know right now, which is, unfortunate, but and yeah, the Smith leg kicks, like, that's concerning to me, obviously, because Prachnio, he's a karate guy, and he has, like, I think his leg kicks are good, and he's a technical striker, but he's a really bad grappler, man. Like, Liam he didn't talk about it, but the way he got submitted against Bukauskas, bro, like, I mean, it's really bad. Like, I'm a white belt. I don't tap to that, bro. Like,
I think it's gas more than like anything.
Yeah, it was
like, he's
gas.
just a guy that if it's round 3 and you're on top of him, he's like, yeah, thanks anyways. Get me out of here.
It was gas. That's fair. But also, man, that's like terrible the way he got submitted there, especially against Bukauskas, bro. And yeah, the way I also saw that, Bukauskas attempted a Kimura in that fight in round 2. And I also saw Petrino also did try a Kimura on him. I don't know if you guys spot that, but Crute is really good with that Kimura. He got 2 in the UFC. And if Crute gets on top of that guy in any rounds, he can Kimura him, like, easily. I think he could make him, like, tap in 30 seconds. The level difference in the grappling here is just gigantic to me. And I have no doubt that Crute's going to be able to get takedowns. Prachnio takedown defense is not really good. And his get up is also bad. So even if Crute gets tired, like you said, Liam, you get a takedown in round 3, Prachnio is not going to get back up. And I don't think he's going to be able to defend the submission. Like, Crute got a sub over Paul Craig in round 3, So even if his cardio is not the best, late in fight, I think if he gets a takedown, that's the round for him, and he could still submit him. And on the feet, I mean, Prachnio chin is not really good, and Crute swing early. So that's possible that he knock him out or ground and pound. But, bro, the way I see it is he's going to take that guy down early pretty easily and then get on top. And he's either going to get him in a Kimura, or he's going to harm triangle him. That's really the way I see it, man. And I'm really confident in that. If Crute lose this fight, that's probably, like, that's not the end, because he still has, like he mentioned, 4 fights deal. I don't know, people, like, I've heard some people say that it might be done for his UFC career. That's not true. Like, he signed a 4-fight deal after his last fight. So yeah, I just think that's a really easy matchup. And the fact they're trying to book that fight so bad, they're trying to get this guy a win. I mean, Prachnio is 37 years old. He has a bad chin, no grappling, bad cardio, and he doesn't have much power. So that's just an easy matchup for Crout. Get takedown early, get on top, and do what you do best. So submit this guy. So yeah, I think he's gonna submit him, and I think that's gonna come early. But I know some people on the under 2.5, which I think it's a good bet.
Thanks.
Like you guys, like Liam said, this dude Prachnio can get submitted late too. If you look at it, he got submitted, I think, 2 times over 2.5. Let me just check if I'm not. Yeah. So the 2 times he got submitted in the UFC was in round 3 over 2.5 round. And if you look, Jimmy Crout, when he got Paul Craig in round 3, he got him over 2.5. So I think that the over 2.5 could potential. Like I will go Crout ITD, or the fight doesn't go instead, honestly. So that's just what I'm gonna say. And if Prachnio win, he's probably leg kick him, and maybe his legs fucked up. But bro, I mean, I think Jimmy Crout should be like minus 400 here, like no cap. I really think he should be a big favorite. It's really hard for me to picture him losing this fight. You will have to like fuck up really badly. So yeah, it's hard to be confident in a guy like that has not won a fight since 2020, but he's fighting Prachnio. So yeah, I think he's gonna beat his ass.
Yeah, it's pretty much a Crout south spot. Crout set a distance. Prachnio is better than Jamal Hill by transitive property. Wild. Crout does have the Lord on his side. Himmy Crout, I like that. I mean, I think this is just a clear setup fight for Crout. Hopefully, Crout's legs don't go out again. That would be kind of crazy.
Yeah, but that's like the only concern, honestly.
Yeah, the 4-fight deal. Like when you told me that, I didn't even I did tapes and everything, and I didn't even realize he got a 4-fight deal. Because if you go and watch his tape, it's like, why is this guy getting a 4-fight deal?
That's why you got to do the research, Peg.
Yeah, but I was watching those tapes. I'm like, this guy doesn't deserve a 4-fight deal. I'm very surprised. But let him go fight somewhere else and come back. He's young enough to, right?
I mean, two draw, and he's 29 years old. And when you look at it, like he has good.
He hasn't won since 2020, bro.
I know, but like it's two draw like that he got, and he has a win over Mika, Paul Craig, So
yeah, that's fair.
Knock him out. I don't know. He just seems like a guy that's gonna go out there and kill or be killed. The UFC loves these type of guy.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, next fight we got is Adam Fugit versus Islam Dulatov. Dulatov's 11-1. He's a model. He's 26. Adam Fugit, he's 10-4, and he's 36. Odds of these two gentlemen: Dulatov is minus 600. Adam Fugit plus 425. Key, I'm gonna have you go first here. I mean, this is Dulatov round 1, round 2 finish, right?
Yeah, we have the Versace model versus your regular local soccer dad. I think the Dulatov runs through him. But Fugit is a tough guy. He finds ways to win. He's at Fight Ready. I believe this is his first fight after being at Fight Ready.
Yep.
The Quinlan fight may have been, but I believe this is his first fight. He's dealt with some cancellations.
No, I'm pretty sure he was at Fight Ready for the Quinlan one.
Okay, so yeah, I think that this is a good look for him. But I think that Dulatov is just 10 times faster, 10 times more athletic, physically gifted. I don't really know how Fugit finds a way to win here outside of Dulatov just gassing out after whooping his ass for a while. But I think that Dulatov probably gets it done around round 1 or so.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I feel like they're trying to set up a spot for this guy, Dulatov. They like what they see. He's a fun fighter to watch. He's got constant pressure, long strikes, even though I don't think he has a longer reach here, believe it or not. I think Fugit actually, the longer reach belongs to Fugit. But, yeah, I don't know. I think Fugit's a little bit over the hump here. Don't get me wrong. He's a dog. He's kind of like one of those guys that you like to bet at big plus odds, but I don't think this is the spot to do it. Liam, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the Quinlan and Fugit fight, I didn't take away a ton from that. One thing I want to know before I make any decisions about this fight is why exactly Fugit pulled out of the Billy Goff fight that was booked for February this year. I don't remember. I thought
it was ribs.
I can't recall it.
Something with his ribs.
That doesn't sound promising. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
And looking at Dulatov, I think Dulatov is a future fade. I'll point that out now, just because watching him fight he does seem like a guy who just redlines it, like looking for the finish super aggressively, taking a lot of chances, getting in exchanges. And frankly, I've definitely seen some grappling footage that makes me think the best guys in the division will have their way with him on the mat. But with that being said, I also have seen enough to think that there's a massive difference in terms of the dynamic physical abilities of these two guys. Size difference also favoring Dulatov. I think there's a confidence difference in favor of Dulatov as well. Like, I just think he knows I can come forward and fuck this guy up, and he's going to have to take some chances to even do damage to me. So I think Dulatov is going to come out here and finish him in probably the first 7 minutes. But if he doesn't, like, I do think the way Dulatov loses in the UFC will be in rounds 2 and 3, because I think the guy is just selling out for first round finishes, and it's not super sustainable long term.
Yeah.
Drop.
You're lagging again. So it should be Dulatov here.
Yeah.
Probably under 1.5 round. Probably by knockout, but I wouldn't rule out the sub. I think that's also possible. Fugit just the type of guy they're using to build prospects. It's pretty evident at this point. His chin is not the best. He can get submitted. He can get club and sub. He's kind of fragile at time. But like you guys said, if he extend that fight after 6-7 minutes, he's live to win it. But I think he's probably a better live bet. I don't really do live bet, and I hate when people say it, but I think in round 1 he's in big trouble. So, but yeah, I think it should be Dulatov. Not much to say here. It seems like a setup fight.
Yeah, am I lagging right now, Drop?
No, you're good.
Maybe Liam will know. Yo, have you ever seen this? Like, it says high usage on the Tapology tab. That's what's making me lag. It's never happened before, but it says it's using like 6 gigabytes to open up a tab on Tapology.
I'm not sure. I do think they've made some changes in like the last week to the StreamYard interface. Maybe there's some growing pains with that. But I would also think maybe there's an alternative UFC stats or something that could be a little bit less energy intensive in terms of usage. But I don't know.
Oh, and by the way, just for the people, January 2024, first time Fugit was at the Fight Ready. So it's been a long time, a year and a half.
All right, 1 second. Piezo's up to something. He said, I'm using Chrome. That might be the problem. Interesting. But yeah, this one should be pretty straightforward, this fight. UFC Poland. Fugit as tech workers. Okay. Speed and athleticism gap is crazy. Yeah, I tend to agree. This is going to be murder.
Have you guys seen Holloway haircut?
No, is it good?
No, it's not. I don't know what he's doing. He's getting bad.
That's fine. They're going to compare this to. If you got Firefox or another browser, try that. Chrome is really.
It looks like a flat top.
I don't know what he did. Holloway's aging, man. In his face. I don't know if you guys saw.
He's been in wars his whole career.
Yeah. So has Dustin Poirier.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe because he's the guy that absorbed the most significant strike in UFC history, or something like that. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, that could do it. That could. But all right, next fight: Ateba Gautier versus Robert Valentin. I mean, Ateba is. Where's the line on this one? He's minus 550 to minus 575. Robert Valentin plus 400. It's kind of like we got the wannabe Yuri versus, I don't know, next Francis Ngannou. I don't know what you want to call it. Guy's got cinder blocks for hands. Drav, I'll have you go first here. I think you bet on this guy Gautier in the past. What do you think? How do you think this fight goes?
Yeah, I bet it on Dana White Contender Series. I think the guy has an eye shielding in MMA. He's only 23. He's built like I don't know how to call it. He's built like Francis Ngannou, I guess, like you said.
Yeah.
He hit really, really hard, and he seems pretty strong. The fight that he lost in the past was not a good look, but obviously he was very young, and he's going to learn from that. And he's at what's that UK gym called? I forgot.
Fishbowl?
Manchester top team.
It's with Lerone Murphy. Yeah.
Oh, Manchester top team.
Yeah, so he's been there for more than a year now, and that's obviously going to help at such a young age. And watching that guy on Instagram, he looks to be a grinder, training hard, and learning from good people around him. Worry about if the fight gets extended, obviously, and also his grappling is green there. Valentine is not he's not the best wrestler or grappler. Obviously, he's been exposed in that in those areas. But BJJ is kind of sketchy for someone that might not know BJJ that well. If Valentine go for these weird submission, he could do something. And he's also kind of he's gonna swing too. So I think that he has a chance to win that fight, honestly. But more often than not, I think Gautier is probably gonna kill him. So yeah, I would look to maybe play the under 1.5 in that one instead of paying. There's no way I could lay the money line. He's too green. But maybe it's dog or pass money line wise. I mean, is it shit for someone that's trying to learn MMA? Like someone young like him? I don't really think so. I think he's gonna learn. I think that's gonna help him. I prefer him to be there rather than being in Cameroon somewhere else. Sub GB. So yeah, I think Gautier should be fine here. I think he should probably get it done by knockout, but I could see an upset. I don't think that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So,
Liam, what do you think?
I think there's a pretty substantial athleticism edge for Gautier, which I think accounts for why the line is where it's at. I don't think that Valentin is like a particularly skilled jiu-jitsu guy. Like, I don't think if he went to some, black belt jiu-jitsu competition, he would be having success. But I do think that he's a crafty enough, like weird submission artist for MMA that he's made some run of it. The thing is, like, if you guys have ever grappled before, you know that trying to, bend the arm of somebody who's built like a Teba Gautier is a lot easier said than done. What I would always say is a muscle-bound guy like that, you want to make him tired. If you watch the Glenn Williams fight, Glenn Williams had success against Atiba Gautier because he made him tired, so he made him more like a normal person, right, that he could deal with physically. Because in the early going, Atiba Gautier is just a freak physically, and Ryan Loder was picking up Robert Valentin and basically turning him every which way but loose, and then put himself in some danger, right, gave up the back, almost got finished. And when you look at that sequencing, you could say to yourself, like, would, Atiba Gautier have the same responses, pre-built, fighting hands, getting wrist control, doing all the right things that Ryan Loder would do from somebody taking his back like that? I'm honestly not sure. So for me, I do look at this as a dogger pass situation. I'll probably be looking at some props if I was to get involved on the Gautier side at all. I do think when you look at a guy that physical and dynamic and athletic, he could have success just by being way physically stronger than somebody. And like, it's a minor miracle in my view that Valentin hasn't been submitted more based on how people are dominating him on the mat in terms of like minutes and exchanges. Like, he was getting owned by Loder. He had one moment of success, but then Loder went right back to owning him on top. And I do think if Loder had decided like, I'll go for the sub instead of I'll go for the KO, he would have got the sub. So for me, that's the kind of thing that makes me think like maybe Gautier will mix it up a little bit in the grappling with this guy by choice or not, and just have the physicality to come out on top. So some things I'm going to be looking at on the prop market. But other than that, you will not catch me laying Gautier minus 600, I will say.
Yeah, I also think Gautier is kind of a fish off his back. So, like, if Valentin gets him to the ground somehow, like, could definitely gas him.
He does
out.
have some kind of Sambo background. I just couldn't tell exactly where he was competing. Like, he said, he listed on his Instagram bio, I've seen the matches of him like wearing the Sambo garb.
Yeah.
But I just don't know at what level that was.
No, I don't know. I think off his back too, he's kind of a fish. So, I mean, I think it's just kind of you watch the fight, watch what's happening live. If Gautier starts slowing down, bet the dog in Valentin. Longer it goes, the better, I think. I don't know. What do you think, Keith?
Yeah, I think Valentin's a really interesting case. I bet on him against I think it was Loder. Yeah, it was Loder. He's an interesting case. He's violent and has a lot of tools and traits. And it's weird because on the tough series, like if you watch the season, everybody wanted him to corner them, blah blah blah, because he speaks so well and seemingly has fight IQ until the bell rings. And then it feels like there's no game plan. He's just fighting off of pure instinct and random exchanges. He's getting bonked by random guys on the regional scene. I mean, it's just stuff that you just don't want to see out of a guy who I believe is pretty talented and could have some upside in the UFC. But I just don't know. I think sub is the only path to victory. I like Liam's angle here. We just don't know enough about Gautier. And I see somebody in the chat talking about Gautier having more upside and being better than Mansour Abdul Malik, and I believe so. Gautier is patient, it seems. The jab is money. And usually with guys of that build, you see them just throwing big hooks and solely relying on athleticism. But it's obvious that the work at Manchester top team has done some solid work for him. And he's talked about Lerone Murphy being a huge figure for him. And we know how good Lerone Murphy's fundamentals are and how high IQ of a fighter he is. So I have to imagine that Atiba is going to continue to get better at a fast rate here. It says that he's 23. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I fully believe that he's 23, but nonetheless, I think that he's a good prospect in the sport. And I think that he's gonna get it done here. I was looking into a Valentin dog shot here, but I just can't get to it. I think that Atiba gets it done at a high rate. Valentin just isn't able to take shots that I think that he would need to take here. So I think Atiba gets it done inside the distance. But as Liam mentioned, if Valentin ends up getting into a sticky grappling situation or something and finds the back, this could get very interesting very fast. So I would stay away from this fight and just see what happens. I think there's a fight to just take notes on.
Yep. Champs like Swiss Yuri here. Manchester top team is shit. We went over that already. Liam, they think we're long lost brothers. Funny to see. It's probably the beard, I would guess. He is Gautier's obviously an athletic athlete. Better prospect than Abdul, that's what Key was talking about. Striking is getting better. Gautier by decision. I'm interested to see what that prop is at. I'm assuming it's probably
Pepe is a madman. He goes Gautier decision, and he goes which one he said?
Breski decision, right? He said Breski decision, right?
He said GTD for Span, right? He didn't say like Breski, but I mean, one of them could hit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, one of them could hit. Like, they always price the GED like the Span one is plus 500. Like,
it may have been the guy fighting Fugit by decision. I think he said Dulatov by decision. Maybe it was that one.
No, I think he said GTD for he said GTD for the Span fight. Pretty sure.
Gotcha. All right. So next fight got Francisco Prado versus Nikolai Veretennikov. Close enough. Francisco 12-3. Nikolai 12-6. Odds on these two gentlemen pretty close. Minus 145 for Prado, plus 125 for Nikolai. I'm gonna go first here. I've been trying my best to get on Francisco Prado, but I just can't get past his last fight. I don't think 170 is the weight class for him. He's just it's just not his weight class. He needs to be dominant at 155, not 170. Francisco's a really good fighter. He's got good boxing. He can grapple if he wants, but that's the way you're going to have to beat Nikolai. You're going to have to grapple with him, I think. We've seen him be taken down before. Sometimes he can get up, sometimes he can't, but that's your path to victory. I think it's Prado or pass here for me personally. See if we get a better line on Prado, like around minus 125 if money keeps coming in on Nikolai. But I think that's the only way I play Prado here. What do you think, Liam?
Weird fight that I don't really give too many shits about. I will tape it at some point this week. It's definitely towards the end of my priorities list. I'm not super high on either guy, but I will just say, like, the quality of competition that Veretennikov has lost to seems to me, like, on paper to be, exponentially better. Veretennikov lost to Austin Vanderford, who's still a bit of an unknown, but he's a big guy. He's a strong guy, 185-pound fighter. I believe, right? That was a catch weight of 175, but he's fought at 185 before as well. Danny Barlow, a guy that's lost a little bit of his luster coming off of a loss, but certainly a guy that was hyped up coming into Contender Series, split decision type of fight. And then I remember the Michael Morales fight. Veretennikov came out and was doing very well early. It was just that Michael Morales said, time to turn it on. And he was a big young kid, and he was so physical, man. He just started wrestling him. And Veretennikov is not a very good wrestler. That's like his big flaw, I would say, as a fighter. And he got exposed by Vanderford really bad as a result of that. Michael Morales at 19 was like picking him up and turning him ass over tea kettle. But Prado's not a wrestler, and Prado's actually a bad wrestler. So I look at this fight and think to myself, like, who's the better striker? Maybe Prado by a touch, but like I honestly don't feel confident saying that. He's been outlanded on strikes in 3 or 4 UFC fights. Veretennikov on the other side, like I think he can compete in the striking. You know, he's getting up there in age, but ultimately he's had more relevant experience. And if this fight is a grappling fight, like what's to say Veretenikov's not the better grappler? So that's the thing that just keeps me off this fight. But I lean towards Veretennikov as a dog pre-tape.
Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I echo a lot of what Liam said. One, this is a fight that I probably will not get into. But if I have to lean away, I think it's Veretennikov. Prado is just one, I don't think he should be in the weight class. And the move is, in my opinion, just poor career management in general. And I get he has a fucking head of a boulder, but like there's got to be a way this guy can make 155 consistently. 170 is just not the weight class for him. I think Veretennikov leaves a lot to be desired, but he's somewhat, I mean, I wouldn't say very, but somewhat defensively responsible. He's not going to take a bunch of chances. He's low volume, but he finds the shots. I think if this ends up as a close decision, dog or pass.
Draw, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's a hard fight to call, honestly. Because in a way we have Nikolai who's 35, you know, and probably not gonna make many improvements from there. And we have Prado who's 23, who's likely to improve. Prado was at ATT for a part of his last camp, and he's not there anymore. I don't like that as at his age. And you know, especially because you know these Argentina fighter where they train at sometimes is not the best training partner, not the best resource, and the fact that he's you know not trying to make 155 anymore, I don't know what to think about it, but I don't like it because his reach is like, if you just scroll down a bit, Peg, let me just see the difference in reach. I know it's massive. Yeah, 69 reach at welterweight. It's just not gonna work out, dude. Like, you know, it's not great. And he's a punching bag also. Like, he's not really skilled. His skills are that he's pretty tough and he has some power. And I know he has some submission regionally, but I don't think he's gonna get takedowns here. And I think Nikolai is gonna win the clinch. And on the feet, it's gonna be close, right? But Nikolai is so much bigger, so I could only bet him. I think it's clearly dog or pass. But I've been on the worm with this guy. I know he looked good on the feet against Michel Moraes, but you know, in his last couple of fights, he just seems like he doesn't throw many combination. Like, he's kind of one shot at a time, and he's just not impressive to me. But yeah, I agree with that. I think he's probably going to win a decision. I think it's going to be probably a 29-28 competitive fight, but I don't see any guy getting finished. I think we're looking at a close fight here, but I think even with the age difference, considering, you know, the size and the clinch and the fact that I think he has more tools than Prado, he should win. But Prado's going to swing, man. He's going to swing. He's going to go for it. But he's slowed down too, Prado. I mean, I don't really like his skill set. He should be at 155 and take a year off and work on his skill set at a good gym. I think it will be good for his career, but he might lose this and get cut. But we'll see.
Get a nutritionist. Get a nutritionist to make the weight.
Yeah, probably not a bad idea. He loves to post his body on Instagram. Like, he loves to show his body, like, every pictures. But I don't know why he's not trying to focus on it and make weight at 155. Will be a good idea.
He's also only 23, so no, he's got time to turn it around.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Nego decision. Appreciate you watching, bro. Yeah, this is just not a fight to bet on, to be honest. So, all right, next fight. Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen. Marvin, am I lagging, drop, or am I good?
You good.
Brendan Allen, 24-7. Vettori, 19-7. Odds on these two gentlemen, you get Vettori anywhere from plus 170 to plus 175. Brendan Allen, minus 200 to minus 205. Key, I'll have you go first here. How do you think this fight goes? I parlayed the over. I think this fight goes to an over at a pretty high clip. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a weird one. They have bad blood. Allen stuck him in I think it was like a casino or some shit where they ended up fighting.
Yeah, in the Hard Rock.
Yeah, so I think Allen gets done here. I'm not an Allen guy. I backed him evolve against him. I think Allen's a quarter. If things aren't going his way early, I think that shit gets suspect for him. I do think that Chris Curtis won that fight, and I will die on that hill.
I agree with you.
But I think that here, Vettori is probably outmatched. Vettori's taken a lot of damage over the years. And it's just kind of Vittori's just been mid. Like, what is Vettori going to do to you every fight? Like, he's just gonna be there with the chin and some decent boxing. And I know he's at ATT and has been there, but I don't see a bunch of improvements, honestly. I think Allen's a better grappler. I think that Allen gets it done, but I don't love the price at all. I think over's a decent look, but I'm just not. Allen's a guy who has suspect cardio late, and then Vettori, it feels like is a taking time bomb until he gets deaded eventually. So this is just weird for me. I'll probably end up passing, but I think over could be a decent look.
Yeah, I think the over, right? Both guys, decent grapplers. I don't think anyone's got punching power. Vittori's got a brick for a head. Allen's relatively durable. Pretty straightforward here, I think. Over is fine to play. Wouldn't really take a side. I guess if you're thinking that process, it would have to be dog or pass, but I don't know. I like the over. Liam, what are you thinking?
I have been very close to clicking the Marvin Vettori side. I missed some of the best numbers. Part of the reason that I hesitate a little bit. Listen, Brendan Allen's fighting at home in Louisiana. I think that could be a blessing or a curse. You know, we've seen it go both ways for people. Sometimes it's too much pressure. He hasn't fought there in a long time. He's also on a losing streak. He's also a massive favorite. So it's kind of one of these spots where it's like there's a lot of pressure on this guy, and pressure makes diamonds. It also makes coal. And I don't know that Brendan responds well to pressure. I know that Brendan has been broken down before by guys who are not traditional finishers, i.e. Sean Strickland. I know that a guy like Marvin Vettori has been fighting, in my humble opinion, the better quality competition, broadly speaking. And I also look back at trends, right? And the trends say Marvin Vettori has not been a productive underdog in the UFC. He's 0-4. That's not a bullish signal, right? But then you go back and dig through and you say, okay, well, in 2016, he was a dog against Antonio Carlos Jr. And since then, he's been an underdog to Israel Adesanya, and Robert Whittaker.
Yep.
And those are 3 UFC champions that are all easily favored against Brendan Allen based on the current known information at the time that they fought, right? Because again, Izzy's a little washed now, granted, right? At the time he fought them, Izzy was the champion. At the time he fought them, Robert Whittaker was like a recent UFC champion. So I think that there's a little bit of credit and respect due to Marvin. That being said, he was favored to beat Dolidze, didn't do it. He was favored to beat this guy, didn't do it. Here's the thing, though. You give Dolidze Brendan Allen, I don't think it's 0% that he knocks him the fuck out. That's the God's honest truth as I see it. I think Dolidze would be a problem for Allen. He can go on the ground. He can hurt him on the feet. He's a little bit more durable. So when I look at those situations, like, am I sure that Marvin's losing to guys that wouldn't? Jerry Cannonier, I think, would fucking kill Brendan Allen. Like, just a terrible matchup for him, right? A guy who could defend the grappling and knock your fucking head off. So same thing at like a Chris Curtis was a bad matchup for Brendan Allen because he D's up takedowns, punches hard to the body, and just keeps working on the feet. I think that Marvin Vettori meets a lot of the criteria I'm looking for. He's an ATT guy right now. They're the best gym in mixed martial arts as far as I'm concerned until proven otherwise. So it's like the guy's on the right juice. The guy is in a good situation. And Brendan Allen, by the way, is like traveling out to Chicago and doing some stuff at Valley Flow. And maybe that's all going to work out. For me, that's a little bit of an unknown. He's kind of stepping out of his comfort zone. Marvin Vettori is going to the most proven gym in the United States, working with Johnny Eblen every day and trying to get better at fighting. And he's 31 years of age. So I don't think he's washed. Yeah. I think Marvin Vettori, dogger pass, and we'll see if I get there.
All right. Drow, what are you thinking?
Honestly, it's one of the fight on the card. I don't have a good read on it. Like, just keeping it real with you guys. First of all, I mean, Vettori took 2 years off, took a beating against Cannonier, had injuries, and then he came back and looked like shit against Dolidze, right? Didn't do enough, looked really bad. Like, he looked career worse to me. People were saying he's washed. He's still young, but he took a shit ton of damage in his career, and he took a beating the fight prior. Maybe it was the ring rust. Maybe it was the damage he took. Maybe it's done. I don't really know, man, to be honest. Is he going to look really bad again? Or maybe that's a buy a low spot, and he's gonna look the best or in his prime now because he's fighting a better matchup in a way. I don't know, man. I think Allen is probably like one of the best grappler Vettori has fought in recent year, like the back take and the submission. Allen is really good on the back. Like, I'm gonna give him credit for that. Like, he's really good when he gets there, and I've not really seen Vettori defend many rear naked chokes, so that could be a path for Allen. But on the feet, I mean, I really see it being competitive. Allen's, is gonna compete with him, but Vettori might show a bit more durable, and I trust his cardio more. Like in round 3, who do I favor? I think Vettori. Am I confident that Allen's gonna land takedowns? No. And I think weirdly enough, I think Vettori could potentially hurt Allen. I think Allen's chin is kind of weird. I know Vettori is not a good finisher, but is Sean Strickland a good finisher? Like, he knocked that guy out, right? So I think Vettori could potentially do some damage here, make it close, and it's clearly a dogger pass. I couldn't lay that price on Allen. And yeah, they have bad blood. Sometimes they're just gonna stare at each other, do nothing, and sometimes they're gonna swing, right? And Vettori, his brother died. He said that he won that KO. I don't really look too much into interviews. I try not to. But when your brother died and you said you really want to go out there and hurt somebody, and the way you're taking that loss that you had is, going into the gym, giving your all, and you want to go hurt somebody in the cage, like, that could go well. That could go bad. I don't really know. But that's just volatile to me in a way. So, yeah, I think Vettori is the side. I know some sharp guys on that side, but personally, I can click on it. I can do it, but I think Allen, unfortunately, is probably going to win a minus EV decision, and people are going to scream like, that was such a good bet on Vettori and he didn't cash. That's really the way I see it. But again, I don't have a good read on it. I can understand Vettori bet. I can't understand Allen money line bet though.
What is the spread on Vettori?
It's terrible. It's like minus 220.
Makes sense though. Give him round 3 at a high clip. Makes sense. All right. Yeah.
I mean, if he's that favored to like cover the spread, I'm not really sure how he's such a
big dog. He's big dog. See, Liam, that's exactly what I was just thinking too.
Like minus 260 on Bet Online.
That's what I'm saying. So it's minus 260 to win one round. How can you make him plus 170 then?
Because the market's giving Allen submission upside too.
Okay.
But I also don't think the line is right. Like, I think the line should be closer. Like, if anything, I think Allen should be like minus 150. I know there's value on Vettori. I just can't click on it.
Yep, like you said. Yeah, you gotta watch the security footage to decide who's better on striking. Peter thinks Allen's level's better on the feet. Pepe hates the raccoon hat and the finger guns. Classic.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was hoping the spread would be 135 too. You and me both. Dixon doesn't know that it was a raccoon. Honestly, not a bad look. Honestly, like I said, I'm already on the over, but it feels like the over was too easy of a click. Could be my downfall, but we'll find out. We need Ryan Spann to get past Breski first before this comes into play. All right, next fight is the prelims main event. It's a fan favorite, Vinicius Oliveira, lock dog versus Kyler Phillips, the Matrix. Odds in these two gentlemen, you get Kyler Phillips anywhere from plus 120 to plus 130. You can get Vinicius Oliveira, lock dog, anywhere from minus 140 to minus 150. Drov, is lock dog about to be forced into the Matrix, or is lock dog going to outdog him?
Yeah, are you guys ready to enter the Matrix? That's really the only question you need to ask. Are you ready to enter the Matrix? Because I am. Like, I am ready to enter the Matrix, and I think people are sleeping on Kyler Phillips. But one fight ago, people were calling him a future champion.
He was minus 600 against Font. Now he's an underdog.
He was minus 600, and you know what's also funny? The last time he was an underdog was against Shang Yadong. That was the only time he was an underdog in all of his UFC career. You want to know what's funny too? How many round 1 do you think Kyler Phillips has lost in his UFC career?
None.
He won all of them.
Yep, I knew that.
So now we're just saying this guy is a gasser. He's not good, and Oliveira is the guy, and he's gonna beat him easily. He's gonna beat him up and finish him or just gas him out. oh, Kyler gassed against Vaughn, he's gonna gas again, right? It's just lazy capping to me. I mean, is his cardio sketchy? Yes, but as he like gas out and after, is he a round 1 fighter? I don't think so, man. Like, he slowed down in round 3, don't get me wrong, but if you look at it and you're trying to understand why did he gas and all of that, you want to know another fun fact? He never lost a fight in the big cage. All the times he's lost was in the apex. I think he needs the space to operate his game. That's like one of the. He has a lot of footwork, a lot of movement, a lot of spinning shit. He looked career best against Pedro Munoz, right? And then he looked bad against Rafa. By the way, he grapple fuck him in round 1. He won that round easily, but then he gassed out, he slowed down. But Fun was pressuring him. Fun boxing is elite. People tend to forget. And also, he was having a good game plan with Zahabi in his corner in the small cage. And Carter kind of broke, right? So could that happen again here? I think so. Like, Oliveira has good pressure. But I think Oliveira cardio is being overrated this week. I've seen that guy slow down too. He slowed down in his last fight. He pushed to it. Like, he's a fighter. But I don't think this guy is a Merab cardio, like some people are talking about this week. And I don't think Kyler is a McKinney cardio guy either. I think the cardio is overblown, and that's the only reason why the line is like that. I've bet Oliveira in his last fight. He was a big underdog, right? Matter of fact, he was an underdog in his last 3 UFC fights. Now they're pricing him a favorite. And I think Kyler Phillips, the best guys he's ever fought. Oliveira has been knocked out cold on the regional. You guys know that, right? He's been knocked out cold. The reason being, he's really hittable and he's cocky. I don't think his chin is like bad, but he could get hurt. He could get clipped. That's gonna happen at some point in his career. And he just fight with his ends down, right? And I also think that Carter could take him down. Carter wrestling is really high level. He took Barcelos down.
Yeah.
Nobody, like pretty much nobody does that. And his grappling is also really, really good. Could he submit Oliveira? I think he could, honestly. And now we're talking about the KO and all of that, right? Kyler Phillips, extra durable, never been finished in his career, and he fought better competition. So is Oliveira going to knock him out? I don't think so. So now we're talking about a guy who's minus 180, who's going to, I think, drop the first round, who's probably not going to finish, and is going to need to win the second and the third at a high clip. I think he's probably going to win the third at a high clip because Carter doesn't do well in round 3s, but I don't think he's going to quit or gas out bad in round 3 that Oliveira finish him. I don't see that happening. And also, I think Oliveira is going to have some issues tracking Phillips down early. And I think in the big cage, Phillips, there's a good chance that he lands something big early, like a head kick or something, and put that guy out. I really do. And Oliveira takedown defense is good, but I think Kyler could get him down. I'm pretty confident. And his BJJ is some of the best that Oliveira has seen. People were talking about Said Nurmagomedov wrestling. They were thinking that he would take that guy down. I was pretty confident he wouldn't because his wrestling is overrated. It's not good. Oliveira used his wrestling in that fight to win. He got hurt early. He had issues with Said spinning shit. Carter is an elite fighter to me. His striking is really good. He's super technical. His grappling is good. Wrestling is good. He's durable. He fought better guys. And I just think that's a buy low spot. Market is low on him. People are low on him. And one of the best edge in MMA is recency bias and fading the hype. And that's exactly a spot like that. Both these guys are really, really good. Oliveira is dangerous, but Oliveira has a lot of flaws as a fighter that I think a guy like Kyler Phillips could exploit. And I think he will. I think he could finish him. I think he could win a close decision. And I think that's the time that people all jumping on the Oliveira bandwagon. They're ready to fade the Kyler Phillips stock. He's bad. He's a gasser. He's going to lose again. Oliveira is cool. He's flashy. But, Oliveira got grapple fuck against Sopaj in his debut, right? He kind of slowed down in that fight too. And Sopaj did gas out too, but he was on super short notice. Phillips is a better grappler than Sopaj is. So, yeah, I just think Oliveira does a lot of mistakes in the grappling. He gave up his back, even on the regional. Honestly, if they go the distance, I like it. And I think Phillips could finish him. That's my issues. But what's the price on that, Dixon? Let me know, because I think that could be sneaky. So, yeah, I just think it's either going to be a 29-28 close decision, or I think that Phillips could KO him, could submit him. So yeah, this price to me is wrong. And I think Kyler should be a slight favorite, honestly. Pretty bullish on that. What do you guys think about it? I'm excited to hear.
Yeah, I'm on Phillips plus 145 for 2 units. I think the jab's going to be there for Kyler Phillips. I think the wrestling's going to be there all night for Kyler Phillips. I think this is just like a classic you almost have forgot spot. I just don't get how the line market-wise has changed so much. Obviously, it's the aura of Lock Dog, and then Kyler Phillips not looking great against Font. But that's Kyler Phillips being minus 620 against the top 10 bantamweight. And I mean, I just don't get it. Said Nurmagomedov, let's not act like he's a world beater. He gasses out too. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like this is an easy Kyler Phillips spot. You probably won't get this price on him again. Liam, what are you thinking?
I think it's a competitive fight. I'm not going to be running to the window with Lock Dog. I did bet him against Ricky Simone, which I thought was a great bet. I think I got over plus 2XX there. And so now, you're being asked to pay a higher price against a better opponent. It's just not the kind of thing I do. That being said, I think Lock Dog is a talented guy. I think he's a dangerous guy. He also takes a lot of risks. He kind of gets into wild exchanges, normally keeps his hands down. You guys mentioned the fact he's been knocked out brutally and out cold regionally before. The one thing I will say as a differentiator between a guy like Kyler Phillips and a guy like Peyton Talbot, in my opinion, has exceptionally good cardio. And one thing I believe in as like a staple of my handicapping process is the ABCs. They always bet on cardio, right? And it's not to say it's a perfect we see round one finishers win all the time, but ABC say always bet on cardio, meaning if I'm laying chalk, I want to know you can continue to push this same pace for the full 15. And with Peyton Talbot, I think that that's what you're getting. With Kyler, honestly, I was really disappointed by that Rob Font performance because he's better than that. And you just look at the guy over time. I faded him way back, guys, with Howley and Paiva. I had Howley and Paiva. I had the decision at plus 500, and it was a close fight. I thought there was probably a better argument for a draw than Howley winning it, but it's still the kind of fight where Kyler comes out, starts really hot, goes for his finish, and when he doesn't get it, he doesn't have the same energy to push in rounds 2 and 3. So I do believe this is a competitive fight and an honest fight. In my opinion, if Kyler is smart, he will not wrestle and grapple early in this fight. He will come out and land some strikes on the feet, get some respect first, chop away at the leg. I think you can hurt Oliveira standing. I think you can hurt him to the legs. And I think you can break him if you convince him he can't fight on the feet with you. I just think that if you go out there and you look for that submission and you don't get it, I think Kyler Phillips will probably be huff and wind in rounds 2 and 3. So it's an interesting fight. Could I also see Kyler subbing him in the first? Yes, I could. So for me, that's why I have no action on this. Some of the props did look a little bit eye-catching. I bet Kyler sub plus 500 against Marcelo Rojo, and he beat the absolute piss out of that guy. But this is a tougher task, right? I don't think Oliveira is going to give it up. You're going to have to take it from him. But let's see what Kyler has in an encore performance here. Last time just wasn't enough for me to take the ride.
Key, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah. I had Kyler against Rob Font. I believe me and Drop both did it minus 225 or something. I was just so disappointed by that performance, even upon watching it back. And the Paiva fight's a good fight to go back to also, as Liam mentioned. And with Kyler, I mean, one, the first MMA lab fighter to gas out, which has to be an accomplishment. So God bless him for that. But I really think that this is I like Liam's angle of he needs to come out and earn some respect on the feet first, because if he sells out for grappling and does not get it, I do think that goes into panic mode, and his cardio is just not good. And Loke Dog is all physicality and all dog. He's gonna walk you down in your face, and although I don't think that he's as technically sound as many would like him to be, he makes his style work. He has rhythm. He has real fluidity in his striking. The Rabona kick against Ricky Simone to end off that fight. I mean, the guy's slick, and I don't know how he does it, but the guy is slick, and you got to give him credit. I think that the physicality wears on Kyler here. If Kyler doesn't get what he wants in the first 5 to 7 minutes, I think the shit gets dark. And I do like Draw's point of every fight in the UFC that Kyler's lost has been Apex. And I do think that this, if you're wanting to back Kyler, this is best terms as you can get it on. Big octagon and more space for him to operate. But I don't know if I can expect to see a guy like Kyler that fights the way that he does, because he does not fight with economically at all from an energy standpoint. It's big movements, big spinning shit. It's always big bouncing in between combinations. There's always a lot going on at once. So while it looks cool and it's fun and the Matrix blah 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 and it's cool to look at, I just don't know if it has all the substance that I would like against a guy like Loke Dog, who's going to be in your face, who's not going to give a fuck, is probably going to talk to you and taunt you a little bit. He's going to win the mental warfare, so to speak, throughout the 15 minutes. So I think that Kyler does have all the tools in the world to be a legit top 10 guy. I think that we all can say that. But I just don't know if he has that dog in him like Loke Dog does. So I think that Loke Dog may be a little more of a slight favorite than this. I think lines is still minus 160 or so. I would say maybe Loke Dog 55% would make a little more sense to me. But I think, yeah, Kyler does need to get on the Mario stack. Exactly. But I think that
He could be a champion, that guy with good cardio.
who, Kyler?
Yeah, man, he has
Yeah,
everything.
I believe so. But I don't believe in the cardio, and this isn't the
That's fair.
fight that I would like to see him rebound off of after Rob Font. This is definitely not the fight I'd like to see him rebound off of. So I do think that this line is a bit of recency bias. Again, you go from minus 600 against a guy who's main evented 1,000 times and fought the best, to now plus something against a guy who has been an underdog his whole UFC career. So there's definitely a discrepancy here. I think a Kyler bet I can understand. Me personally, I just can't get to after seeing how bad his body language is after he doesn't get what he wants.
Yeah, that's fair. Kind of did the comments here. It's now or never for Kyler, to be honest with you. Got to get it done. Got to get it done here, for me at least. All right, moving on.
He also took some time off after that last fight, which I kind of like, honestly.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I don't love
Michael?
that just because he's never been the most active guy. So he's a guy that we've just talked about for so many years of having so
That's
much
true.
talent, and we just haven't seen it like in the octagon consistently. And I think that in this case, after the Rob Font fight, yeah, there's definitely some need for regrouping. So I hope that he can make the improvements, because the guy is as bright as they come talent wise.
You could put that guy in the Matrix in round one, put him out. I think that's super likely. No, not super likely. I think that's super live. That's what I meant to say.
What's the line on that?
KO1 is a big number. It's like round one straight is 900 on BetOnline, but that's going to be better on Fendo. But I think KO1 was 14-1 on BetOnline. But again, that's like bad price with shit limit. It's going to be better elsewhere. So yeah, KO1 is, got it right there, 14-1.
Wow. Okay. 14-1. And Kyler cut his hair, I guess. Kyler cut his hair. All right, moving on, guys. We're going on to the main card. Please like, comment, subscribe. We do this for free every week. Give you guys great picks. Make you guys all money. Look at Key. He went on 3 vacations. Drav and I don't, because we work a little harder, some would say. But that's what happens when you're winning money. You get to go on vacation. So like, comment, subscribe.
Are you
Main
trying to
event.
say I'm not winning money, Peg?
All right, yeah, he's on a hot streak too. But we hear about it every week, right? We're all tired of hearing Drav always winning. All right, see what happens? Key, Drav, sometimes me, always winning. That being said, let's get on to this main card. Opening the Mike Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. Mike Johnson, old man, 23-19. Zellhuber, what's that? 15-2. Not much to be said there. I'm pretty sure Zellhuber is minus 600. Johnson's plus 400. I'll go first here. I'm on Zellhuber. He's one of my parlay legs. I think I got it earlier, like at 490 or something like that. I think this is a pretty good setup fight for him. I think we're going to unfortunately see Mike Johnson get knocked out again. Zellhuber's big, long, good boxing, good volume. Johnson's most recent fights are either against guys who like to grapple a lot, and then he's striking with them, or he got a guy like Azatar who is a fraud, and got knocked out in round 1. Darius Flowers, not really sure he's totally UFC caliber, jumping up and down between weight classes. Who knows what the fuck's going on with him? So I don't know. I feel like Mike's been given pretty good competition for himself so far, but I just don't get why he's getting fed to Zellhuber. Zellhuber is coming off a performance where some people will say he's won. He did have, what was it, fight of the year last year was him versus Ribovic in the Sphere.
Insane fight. Yeah,
it was an insane fight. Like, Zellhuber's a good fighter. He's only getting better. He's with the Valley Flow boys. I think he finds a knockout here. Liam, what do you think? Anything different? Huh?
You say he's with Valley Flow?
Is he not with Valley Flow anymore? Or was?
I think you're thinking about Bahamondes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. That's how I think.
I think Zell's been in I know he was at interim at one time, but he's also with Eric Nixick and Extreme Couture.
Extreme Couture
too. So
he's
I'm thinking of Bahamondes. That fight, he thought it was Bahamondes. He put him in the parlay.
Yeah, I was watching Bahamondes taped the whole time.
Yeah.
No, Bahamondes let us down against Fiziev. I was on that, unfortunately. Yeah. But all right. What do you think, Liam? Go ahead. You gonna take a dog shot on Johnson here?
No. I'll give you guys one really quick, funny anecdote, and then I'll cede my time to the rest of the panel. But essentially, I was sitting with a buddy one time, and it was the Diego Ferrer Michael Johnson fight. And he goes, "Hey, bro, can you bet $50 on him to win?" And I was like, "Who?" He's like, "Michael Johnson." I was like, "Nah, I can't do that." And he's like, no, I need you to place a bet for me. And I was like, "Here's what I'll do. I'll give you the money if I'm wrong. But what I'd rather you do is keep it in your pocket." And we're sitting there watching, and Michael Johnson's painting a masterpiece, jabbing him up. He's sitting there running his mouth. "Hey, Liam, what'd you tell me about Michael Johnson? Look at Michael Johnson. He's having the fight of his life." And then Michael Johnson just falls back, stiffer than a statue, flat cold on the ground. And I was like, "Here's your money. Shut the fuck up." And that's the way that it is, right? So when you look at Michael Johnson, man, he's an accident waiting to happen in every fight. I think Zellhuber is going to find a way to finish him. If he doesn't, he's got to start asking himself some hard questions. So I think Michael Johnson's just completely washed.
Key, what do you think?
Drawing dead to a KO.
Yep. Key, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that Zellhuber should get this done. Michael Johnson is washed. I shouldn't say washed completely. His durability is washed. The speed is still there. I mean, the crackhead energy. I mean, it is the pop that he has, and the hand speed is remarkable for, what is he, 39? I mean, it's insane. The Zaitar knockout was just beautiful. But Zellhuber's a different animal. I think that Zellhuber gets back on track here. And I'd also like to see a cleaner performance from Zellhuber. I know that he's gotten into some fight of the nights with Ribovic and Prado, but I'd like to see a cleaner performance because I do think that he is that talented and has all of the tools, especially at this weight class, to make a real run. So I'd like to see a cleaner performance. I would expect so with Eric Nixick in his corner. So I think Zellhuber gets this done, and surgeon-like, I think that he gets it done.
Drav, what are you thinking?
Yeah, not much to add. I think he should be a big favorite. I think Johnson could be competitive in round 1, but after that, I think Zellhuber, better cardio, more durable, more weapons also, big cage, which is better for his style. And the heart that he showed in that Ribovic fight is insane. I think he's probably going to finish it. I will be just careful. I think it's going to be knockout, but if you look how many times Johnson has been submitted, I would just go ITD if you like the Zellhuber finish. Maybe don't go the distance, stuff like that. So I think it's going to finish him, but probably not. I expect the round 1 to be close, honestly. Like Johnson, like he said, his boxing is still slick and his speed is still there. But in round 2 and 3, when he slowed down a little bit, when he's not as slick, I think a guy like Zellhuber was really technical and was better cardio, can pick his shot and probably find a kill shot, honestly. What's up, Cody?
What is the price on ITD for Zellhuber? Isn't it probably pretty chalky?
Yeah, it's minus 120 now in most places. I just check.
That's kind of crazy.
Not the best.
That's crazy. I don't know. I think that's surprising.
You thought it would be better than that, or?
Yeah, I thought it would be minus, like, I don't know, minus 150, minus 170. I thought it'd be more.
Yeah, it's because he doesn't have many finishes in the UFC when you look at it. Like, yeah, he has 3 wins and only
He's
one.
got pretty good his strength of schedule is pretty good though. That's why.
Yeah, and I mean, he arguably finished Vanessa, honestly, and he hurt Ribovics too. He could have got Prado. Like, there's a lot of fights he should have maybe finished it. Ribovics and Prado both really
durable
good.
as could be. So I get you. All right, next fight: Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. Pitbull is 36-8. Dan 50K, Ige 19-9. Both these guys just fought in Miami. Now they're back in Louisiana fighting each other. Odds in this fight: you got Dan Ige minus 220. Pitbull is plus 185. Liam, I'm gonna have you go first, man. I mean, was it the UFC jitters for Pitbull, and that's why he didn't have success until he started wrestling against Yair? Is Yair that elusive? What do you think?
I mean, I think that's a piece of it. I think a piece of it is also that he's old. I think a piece of it is that Yair is a dynamic striker on the feet, difficult to deal with. I don't have the strongest read on this fight, except to say the markets moved really substantially in the favor of Dan Ige. I watch how the lines move, and, a lot of money's come in on the Ige side. Ige, for me, is a guy that's a talented guy, but a guy that hasn't really been, winning UFC fights by a massive margin for a long time type of guy, kind of skates by on durability, the ability to crack with his hands, toughness, right? Like just a willingness to dig deep, pretty good cardio as well. So I think Dan has a lot of good attributes to his game. I just don't know that he's like super plus in any attribute here except knockout power. I think he can knock out Pitbull. I think that's how he looks like a big favorite in this fight, but beyond that, like I just don't think that it's going to be a dominant performance by Dan, and I think it'll be competitive. I think it could probably go either way. I think Pitbull's a better grappler. I don't think that he's really going to force that here. I also think Ige pretty defensively responsible. The way I would see Pitbull maybe stealing a decision type of thing would be take a back, ride out around like that type of thing. I just don't really have much of a feel for this fight. At the early numbers, I guess Ige was okay, but I'm not chasing the number up to where it is now. And, I thought that Pitbull was live against Yair, honestly. I thought he was going to grapple more. He didn't do it enough in my view. I just think that Yair was infinitely more grappleable than a guy like Dan Ige is. So that for me makes this hard to call. And so I'm just going to stay away from this fight.
Yeah, looking in the tapes, you kind of can see Dan Ige can get out wrestled, and Pitbull obviously is a good wrestler. He didn't really look to it in the Yair fight till the end. But I don't know. Like you said, if he gets to plus 2XX, it's a different story for Pitbull. But guy's older. Dan Ige obviously just finished Woodson. So I don't know. It's a tough fight. I want to get down on Ige after tapes at like minus 150, but now you can't really bet him at minus 200, minus 210 here, I don't think. So I don't know. Jav, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, Pitbull grappling is good, but when's the last time that you put on a wrestling game plan in his career?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been forever, man. He just doesn't do it enough. And I just think that the guy is washed, honestly. And we've seen his last week with, Cater. When in these lower weight class, 125, 135, 145, even 155, we saw Chandler, right? He's washed now. Like, he looked okay the fight prior, and then he come back after a year off, a year later, and he's washed, right? I think that Pitbull has shown me for like the last 2 years that he was declining big time. And I'm not only talking about like him in the cage, like his skill set. I'm talking about his durability. I'm talking about his willing to grapple in fights. Like, he got hurt against Jeremy Kennedy, right? So he got hurt in that fight. He got put out against Suzuki. I know that fight was short notice, but still, like, that's a bad look. You get knocked out badly there. You get hurt against Kennedy. You get hurt against Yair. So you're getting hurt more and more often, and you're getting older. You're 38. That's not like a KO is just, he's a KO waiting to happen for me. He's not the guy that he once was, which is kind of a shame to say. He came in the UFC way too late. The guy was really good in his prime, but obviously, looking into it, he's a low volume. He's not really going to grapple. So how is he going to win this fight, honestly? Like, he's not going to finish Ige. Ige is more durable, and he has big power, and I think that he could put Pitbull out, honestly. And if they go the distance, I trust, like, Ige is not the best minute winner, and he's low volume sometimes himself, but he land more volume than Pitbull does. I can count on Eay to land 50, 60 significant strike here, probably, right? And Pitbull, his last couple fights, maybe he landed 17 significant strike against Yair. I understand that's a hard matchup in a way, but bro, even against Kennedy and on the regional, like in PFL and Bellator, like he's not high volume. He's a counter puncher, and they could stare at each other. I could see that, but I think Eay at this point in his career, he has the power to knock him out. He has the durability to take Pitbull shot. I don't think he's a bad grappler. Like he can lose when he gets grapple, but when you look against who he lost to, he almost beat Lerwan Murphy not too long ago. He almost put Lerwan Murphy out, right? So I think that he could do that here. I think he could earn another 50K. Yeah, I think it's Dan Eay. Probably by knockout. But I could also see him winning a decision, honestly. And yeah, the market move a lot, obviously, but I think the line now is where it should be.
Key, what do you think?
Yeah, back Dan Eay against Slenderman last fight out.
Shout out.
Yeah, and surprisingly, I think he was up 2-0 on cards before that, which was I did not see the fight that way, but respect to the judges for seeing whatever the fuck they want to. I think here Eay is probably gonna find the KO. Pitbull is getting hurt and KO'd by randoms and rising. I think that his durability shot. I think that this is poor career management and also Bellator PFL holding on a little too long to somebody who I wish we could have seen come over to UFC in his real prime. I think that this is good matchmaking for what it's worth, though. But I think that Dan Eay hits too fucking hard.
Can we start calling Key Sugar from now on? I don't know. I kind of like it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Fuck no. Yeah, fuck that. But I do think that here, Pitbull is just. I get it. The grappling is there, and Dan Eay has lost every fight I believe that he's been taken down in. But I do think that it's not as if Dan Eay is just an awful grappler completely. And I do think that he's liable to hurt Pitbull at any moment on the feet in any exchange. So for that reason, I think that Dan Eay is the deservedly so favorite here. It's a pass fight for me. I'm not getting around to. I think price is still around -200 Eay. Fuck, I'm not paying -200 Eay against a guy that I believe is still somewhat dangerous and does have a grappling path here. So it's a pass fight for me. Eay by KO is the pick.
Yep. Eay line get in hand. This guy thinks Pitbull's clear side. Boxing. Eay smarter fighter. Pitbull split decision plus 1,000.
That's his pat, honestly. I don't mind that.
Pitbull guillotine. KO prop. Yeah, Eay KO number plus 225 is what it looks like.
No, it's better than that. It's around plus 300.
Key Sugar. I'm gonna start calling Key Sugar from now on. I remember being up like what we call it Rising. It's so random. Yeah, it's crazy what this guy's been through, and now he's only getting here now. It's fucked up. You hate to see it. Next fight. Talking about old men, D-Rod versus Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland 28-13, 32. D-Rod 19-5, 38. Odds these two gentlemen. Holland -460. Dan Rodriguez plus 360. Who wants to go first? Jav, you know what? We'll let you go first here. I mean,
I'm gonna just ask the panel the question that you're asking question, right? I'm just gonna ask if someone can give me what is D-Rod path to victory? Maybe you can say a split 29-20 decision, but outside of that, how does he win that fight?
I mean, I don't see this a chance at him winning this fight.
Key.
Period.
How could he win that? Like, what do you think will be his path? Key, what do you think?
Just like a random bonk.
Liam?
Yeah, maybe if Kevin
A
Holland
close
gets hurt.
decision. A close decision, I think.
Like
honestly.
razor close, but even in a close decision, I favor Holland.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Leg break.
Like it could, like honestly, like I'm normally not laying these type of price on Holland, but I mean, like you could knock this guy out in any round. you could submit this guy in any round. And if you go the distance, I think Holland's going to be the faster guy, landing more volume, and who's more durable, who has better cardio. And I don't think D-Rod's going to grapple him. And Holland at 170, he's really good, like especially against striker. He went to split against GDM.
Yeah.
So when he loses, it's normally at 185 against grapplers, which is not the case here. And D-Rod is clearly declining. His last 2 wins are not aging well. He fought 2 older guys that are also on the decline with durability and cardio issues. And, it was really close against both of them. Now he's facing a younger guy who's faster than him, who has more power than him, who has better cardio than him. I think Holland's going to put him out, honestly. The way he lands he's going to be too fast to the punch. I think he's going to knock him out. But he could also submit him. That's always the tricky thing for him. But I think that's a fight where the clinch going to be money and the straight shot down the pipe will be too fast for D-Rod. And D-Rod's always been like a volume boxer. But if you look the difference in reach and size, it's going to be hard for him. And also adding the speed difference, D-Rod has looked slow to me recently. And Holland's really fast. So it's Holland here inside the distance, probably by knockout. I think he's get it done pretty easily. Not much to add on this from my end.
Oh, I like the sub here for Holland too. I think sub's very live. That was my look on it when I did tapes. I played Holland ITD minus 135. I also have Holland money line and a parlay. So I think this is an easy spot, easy click for Holland here. Not often we see him minus 400, but this is just a clear, like he said, he wants to give him all the easy fights. That's what he wants. He wants to get paid. He wants to put on a show. He wants the easy fights. This one's going to be easy for him, I think. Liam, what do you think?
I think that Kevin Holland is going to win this fight inside the distance. I think that Daniel Rodriguez is too slow. I think his durability has declined over time. I think you look back at the Dwight Grant fight and it shows some big red flags for what he can expect in this one. I don't think that D-Rod is going to take the shots very well. I think that Kevin Holland, this is not something you hear me say in many Kevin Holland fights, is a very superior grappler to Daniel Rodriguez, like way, way, way better at grappling as far as I'm concerned. So I just think Kevin Holland's going to fuck him up bad.
Yeah. Key.
Yeah. Kev's been my guy since a long time back, but after a lot of the bullshit that he's pulled in recent years, I've fell off a little bit, but I think that he gets it done pretty easily here. The advantage is everywhere. Outside of him, like, having a busted hand like he did in the Ponzi fight, which made it like semi-competitive until Kevin bonked him. Outside of a situation like that, I don't really see how this fight ends up being very competitive. D-Rod is getting touched up by Morono. How am I supposed to believe that he's going to sit there for 15 minutes and bang with Holland? It's not happening.
JB agrees. KO him stiff. Holland. Pepe, Holland decision. And that's it. All right. Next fight. Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. This is our co-main event of the evening. Line, Costa is plus 195 to plus 210. Kopylov minus 230 to minus 250. I'm going to have you go first, Key. Does Paulo Costa show levels, or does Romy boy stunt on him?
Yeah, free bet of the week. I have 6 units on Kopylov here. I'm fucking with y'all. Fuck no.
I would say, damn, let's go.
I was doing my best to not look like entirely shocked. I was like, holy shit.
No,
he was doing his best peg impression. That's what he was doing.
I'd rather be waterboarded than put 6 units on Kopylov.
Did you put him in the parlay peg? We want to know.
Oh, he's in the parlay too. He closes it out. It's span the over on the Vettori fight and then Kopylov.
Oh.
Bro, you're asking for trouble. You know that.
That's nasty word.
Also, Pig said in the chat, you said Kopylov could submit him, right?
Yeah. I said he was going to KO him. I was waiting for the KO price. Oh,
no,
ITD.
You said he could submit him. I remember you said he could.
He could. Yeah, he could.
Yeah, he was arguing about that.
He said I said what I said.
God, you could submit him plus 2,400. It's a live ticket.
But in all seriousness here, though, I think that this is probably a closer fight than the books are giving it credit for. I mean, do you really want to back a guy in Costa whose only win is the corpse of Rockhold in the past however many years? And it seems like he's wasted the prime of his career by trying to be Mr. Funny Guy on Twitter instead of being a legit fighter. But
How
I
about the
do think
split
that this,
decision against Strickland?
but that was not a split.
How
That
crazy
was
was that?
yeah, that was really bad judging.
One of the worst scorecard in like UFC history. No
Yeah,
kidding.
that was like truly awful. But I think here, this probably ends up being a closer fight. I tried to fade Kopylov with Curtis, and I thought that Curtis had some good moments, and I thought that the breaks and fouls ended up leading to Kopylov getting some extra time to not show off his suspect cardio like usual. But here I think that this plays out probably a closer fight. I know one of our guests, former guests in the chat has a real clear, has a clear read on
Yeah,
this. I think that
he
that's
on
very
the
reasonable here. I think it's dog or pass. I'm not ever getting to Kopylov minus 200 anything unless he's fighting a can. So this will be a fun fight, and I expect for this to get kind of ugly.
Yeah, I think Kopylov stunts on him, to be honest. What do you think, Trough?
honestly, it's not the fight I have the best read on either. The Vettori fight is a bad look for Costa. I'll say like the way he was getting out kicked by Vettori. Vettori was landing those body kicks. I think Kopylov could do that for sure. But honestly, Kopylov slow down in almost every fight. He has a way to get finishes in round 2 and 3. But the way he slow down, he clearly doesn't like pressure. The thing is, can we trust Costa to pressure him? Because some fights he doesn't do it anymore. But I think it's a really close fight, honestly. Like Costa is really durable. He has power. I think he has better cardio. By the way, Peg, I think Costa's the one that could land takedowns, not the other way around. And I don't know, man. I'm just seeing this fight being Kopylov's going to be too fast early. I think that he's going to land everything like kicks, body, head. And I think as the fight goes on, when he slow down a bit and when Costa pressure him, Costa could land big shot, could land more volume, and could make it really close. But it's just hard for me to trust Costa, honestly. It seems like he doesn't really care anymore, which is sad because he has a good skill set. But man, I don't know what to think about this price. Like this price is, like Pepe said, I mean, this price is off, and I know it is, but I just don't have the best read, so I don't want to chase the dog here. But it's clearly dog or pass. Like I can bet Kopylov, honestly. I think if anything, Kopylov by decision. That's the way I would look. I don't think he's gonna finish Costa, honestly. Yeah, you think KO? All right, dude. That's some confident shit. I respect that, but yeah, honestly, yeah, I know you almost had him. That's true. Yeah, Kopylov he's probably gonna get knocked out eventually, honestly, and that's probably when Peg has him in the parlays. That's gonna happen. Sup, Kyle?
Yeah.
Liam, what you think about that?
I think this is another clear dog or pass situation. I respect Kopylov. He's made significant improvements since he got to the UFC, but a guy who lost to fucking Albert Duraev, getting out wrestled in that fight, getting out grappled by Carl Roberson, the fluffy fight, I'll give him a pass on. But then let's talk about who he beat. Chris Curtis, weird fight, but we'll give him the credit there. That's his best win in the UFC by far, I think. Punahele Soriano, clearly a better welterweight than a middleweight. So the guy was way undersized. He just got beat up. We saw Brendan Allen kind of lay a blueprint, of how to beat him. Kick him in the body, stay away from him. That's it, right? You win the fight if you do that. Then when you look at Cesar Almeida, needed to wrestle for his life in that fight. And Cesar Almeida, good kickboxer, dangerous guy, looked like absolute dog shit in his next fight. So it's like, is he good? He's okay. Then you look at Fremd. Fremd sucks. No disrespect. Like just at the UFC level, the guy sucks. Then you look at Claudio Ribeiro, cut from the UFC level, wasn't at it. Alessio Di Chirico, guy's an afterthought in the UFC in the modern iteration. So again, I look at and say Paulo Costa, definitely losing, definitely been on a rough run. Against who? Top guys, champions, former champions, all guys that are way more deserving than Roman Kopylov. So if he loses here, his career is basically in the dust, right? This is like a referendum on Paulo Costa's career. And we kind of saw with Calvin Kattar last week. Sometimes those referendums show like maybe I just wasn't who I thought I was, or maybe I lost the spark that I used to have. Could happen here. But if Paulo Costa comes out and competes hard for 15 minutes, number one, we've seen him go 5 hard 5s, right? This fucking Roman Kopylov character gets gassed in every 15-minute fight he ever had. So I just feel like Paulo Costa could definitely walk him down in rounds 2 and 3 and fuck him up. So
fair. I just don't know about the whole Kopylov. I think his gas things look better lately. He was wrestling in the Almeida fight in round 3, and he's got found a finish in the Curtis fight in round 3.
Bro, he was gassed against Curtis. Like, he got that head kick, but bro, he was slowing down.
I also don't think it was a knockout. You could have kept Curtis 2 more seconds and the fight would have been over. It would have been a decision. So,
yeah. Also, can I just point out that these guys are the same age? Like, you would think based on like, Kopylov's the guy on the way up and what it's like, no, these guys are literally the same fucking age. Kopylov's just never accomplished anything, and Paulo Costa, got a fast
the eraser when he was the eraser back in the day.
Yeah. It's just, they have like almost the same record, almost the same age. Oh yeah, that's a really good point, Pepe. I remember that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Another
main event of the evening. It says this is for the BMF belt. I thought how did no, I don't get the BMF belt. I thought Poirier has the BMF belt after beating Holloway, but all right. Max Holloway, yeah, it's a novelty belt. 26-8, Max Holloway, 30-9, Dustin Poirier. Their third time meeting up now. Third time's the charm. Holloway anywhere from -130 to -140. Poirier anywhere from +120 to +125. Liam, you're a special guest. We're going to have you go first. Our main event of the evening. Max Holloway or Dustin Poirier? Does Max finally get the win here, or does Dustin just cover it 3 times in a row?
I hate to be boring, but I honestly have no fucking clue. This is one I'm still going to have to do a little bit of research on over the course of the week. My gut, 2 months ago was Max Holloway is going to win this fight, retirement fight for Dustin Poirier. Then I started going back and rewatching, and like that fight they had in 2019, kind of a minor miracle. Dustin Poirier didn't finish him. Like, he absolutely rocked him like 10 times in the first 2 rounds. And when I look at that and this fight, like the way that the UFC match makes, they try and set up fights where it's like, it's a no-lose situation, right? Justin Gaethje, if he knocks out Max Holloway, then Justin Gaethje's fighting for the title. They easily sell that. But instead, Max Holloway flatlines him. He becomes a massive star. Resell the Topuria fight. Bring him back down to 145. Max Holloway's a company guy. Do anything they ask of him. And he fought Dustin Poirier once, and he got his ass whooped. He was a young man. No skin off your nose. He fought him again when they were both very good fighters, and Dustin Poirier whooped his ass. That's the truth as far as I see it. Like, Max did a good job holding his own, finding some adjustments, punching the body, moving offline. But like when Dustin Poirier would connect, Max felt it. He had to back up. He had to respect it. And he was getting hurt badly. He's taken a shitload of damage since then. And Poirier has taken some too, no doubt about it. Poirier could just not have the same will push to go into a war type of thing. That's definitely possible. But when I'm just looking at like how these two guys match up, if they're trading punches, like Dustin Poirier hits harder. He always has. I think he probably always will. So it's like, is Max going to change that dynamic in this fight? Maybe he can limit some of those engagements. Maybe he could touch more from the outside. But like the one thing that Dustin Poirier hasn't done to Max Holloway, he won by decision, right? He submitted him back in the day. He hasn't knocked him out. And he almost knocked him out the last time they fought. And now he's going to have one more opportunity where he might come out and sell out like, hey, I'm going to swing everything I have, and either this guy dies or I do. One thing I will note before I pass it along is just that there's never been a BMF title fight that went the distance. Them guys go out there and swang motherfucking things. Even the Justin Gaethje one, Max Holloway ITD plus 950. We'll take the money, but it was this close to going. They had a brutal fight on the feet, right? They were both touching each other. His nose was on the wrong side of his face 2 rounds in. So when I look at how these guys match up, like, is Max Holloway a guy that shies away from fights? No, he fucking gets in fights. He's willing to go into fire, into hell. Dustin Poirier, does he back away from the fight or go into the fight? He goes into the fight. He's, basically kill or be killed. He died against Islam, going out there looking to finish him in the 5th. I look at this fight and say, like, a lot of people feel confident this fight's going. And I'm like, this is going to be one of the most violent, insane fights ever. And the things I'm looking at would be like a potential fight not to go the distance, as well as like either guy in round 5, Like, I think it's going to be an insane war. But again, I just look at Poirier, and I have to give a lot of respect. I've tried to fade the guy in the past, and he's made me respect him by knocking out my favorite fighters and knocking out guys I thought were on the come up and all these things. You just got to respect the man. And at the end of the day, it's hard to beat somebody that has your number. It's not impossible, but it's hard. And it's hard to mentally get yourself over, like, I can beat this guy. One thing I know for sure is Max knows he can get hurt. Max knows he can get finished. And Max knows he can lose this fight. And Dustin Poirier will have to be taught one of those things. So it's not impossible. I saw him shooting desperation takedowns. I saw him getting tired the last time they fought. But he also outlasted him there. He found a way to win that fight. And he did more damage over the course of those 5 rounds. I have no doubt in my mind about that. So fun scrap. I'm excited to watch it. But my read is that I don't have the strongest read. I think it's going to be insanely violent. And somebody's probably going to fall before 25 minutes is up.
Yeah. So me from a narrative perspective, I think this is going to go 5 rounds. I think it's going to be a war. Like we've seen time and time again in the UFC, there's no such thing as fairy tales. This is a world stage for Poirier to retire on top in his hometown. Surprise, surprise. Like Pepe just said, we were joking about this earlier this week. What if he gets his jump to guillotine, gets that guillotine finish finally to end it? That would be, the fairy tale done. I don't think it goes that way. Watching the first 2 fights, right? First fight was Max Holloway's debut in the UFC. He got Dustin Poirier at 145. Tough fight to walk in the UFC. Then he gets Dustin Poirier again. First fight at 155. Not ready for that weight class. Again, got him on a good time. Now we're getting a Max Holloway who actually bulked for 155 against Gaethje. Went down to 145. Got knocked out because I think that weight cut was too tough for him. Also, Ilya's Ilya. But now he's back up. Now he's back up again at 155, full frame, everything like that. You watch his other fights. Listen, Max Holloway's eating Dustin Poirier's best shots, and it got to the point where Dustin Poirier swung himself out. He was tired. He was shooting for takedowns. He's never gonna get the takedown on Max. Max almost got the Darce on him. This time it happens. I think he finishes the Darce. He's been working on it in camp. He put up clips of it a few weeks ago. It's a possibility. The subs live. It was almost there. He just wasn't strong enough to get him to the ground last time. Could happen here. I think over time, like Liam said, Max has been hit a lot. He's taken a lot of damage. Can I see Dustin Poirier winning an early knockout? Possible, definitely. But I think it's kind of a snowball effects Max fight. As time goes on, builds up, volume builds up. After a while, we could be seeing like a very close decision. I think Max Holloway probably wins a very close decision. If there is a finish, I would probably say Max by sub, Poirier by KO if there's a finish. But like I said, I definitely favor this to go all the way, go to the distance, and probably be a close decision. We'll see who it is. I think we're in for a good fight. Fans are going to win regardless this fight. I think it goes the distance, though. What do you think, Eay?
Yeah, I think Max gets it done in a decision. I think that he's just the better fighter right now. I think that the Gaethje performance was, I think that we get caught up in the last second knockout, and not the fact that Holloway, dominated that fight, like from start to finish, like looked absolutely amazing. And I believe I won like 18 units or something off that fight with round 5 KO and shit. And that's the best cash.
We all did. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's the best cash of all time by far. But I people forget that Max was absolutely cooking in that fight and hurt Gaethje multiple times to a point where I was screaming at my TV that I wasn't going to get my KO bet because I felt like I deserved it. I think that Holloway is, after that Volk loss in 2022, domination over Arnold Allen, domination of Korean Zombie, domination of Gaethje, and then he runs into who we think is probably going to end up maybe on Mount Rushmore of MMA fighters in Ilia Topuria. And I think that obviously Poirier gets knocked the fuck out by Topuria too, in my opinion. But I think that Poirier isn't the same guy that people think he is. And I know there's been weird outcomes, but Islam fight, he overperformed. Islam had staff. DP showed some good grappling defensively.
He had a broken rib in that fight, though.
But he still got subbed off staff in the late round. So
like Islam had staff, but DP had a broken rib. So I think it's kind of
Yeah,
I don't.
so I think, but again, that's a grappler matchup, so you can't really take much, in my opinion, on the feet from that fight. The BSD fight, grappler, BSD gassed out,
American
never
versus
staff.
France. You gotta love it. A
And
work
then
of
the
beauty.
Gaethje fight was competitive until the head kick, but again got head kick. In the Chandler fight was not, in my opinion, although he did have a good moment on the feet and cracking Chandler and breaking busting his nose, but Chandler was hitting him. In the Charles
Bombing
fight,
away
that
on
was
him.
the
That's a crazy fight to look back on. They were bombing away in the first round.
yeah. And the Charles fight was a good performance on the feet, but Charles did not very, very good work in the clinch. So this is tough to get a read on what Poirier looks like in a 25-minute kickboxing match because we just haven't seen it in a long time. And all signs point to him not being the same guy. He's noticeably getting slower, in my opinion. I don't believe that his volume is the same. I think that Holloway he's shown that he's been able to add to his game in fighting backwards. And we've also seen that he can still pressure forward and do work that way too. So I think that in all phases of this fight, Holloway's going to be the busier guy. I do believe that Poirier, the crowd boost, everything. Poirier is going to go out there and fucking throw down. He's going to try to fight. That's for damn sure.
They're all in the
But
juice.
I think that Holloway is going to be able to win the minutes here. I think Holloway by decision ends up getting this, but -140, I'm not paying -140 whenever this is the worst terms. You're talking retirement fight, potential Lil Wayne walk out, the whole in hometown, everybody's gonna be backing him. I mean, this is awful terms to fight him on, but I think that Holloway gets it done.
All right. Droff, close it out.
Yeah, so I posted Poirier for my free bet of the week this week, and got some hate on it. People kind of like the Holloway side this week, it seems like. So yeah, we all agree. No, Liam, you think your finish is more likely. I do agree that it's probably gonna go the distance. We all agree on that. Mickey and Peg, we have bets on that fight. My question is, when's the last time Poirier lost a striking GTD fight? It never happened. That's the honest truth. The UFC, if you look at it, like the striking war that he had, he always won. When he lost, it's because he got knocked out or he got submitted, right? But every fight that he lost, maybe you can go back. I didn't check the 2013 fight, right? I checked the last couple of years since he's at lightweight. But Holloway has been outclassed and outstrike over 25 minutes a couple of times by Poirier, by Volkanovski. And he's also, I think he's the fighter that took the most significant strike in the UFC right now, if I'm not mistaken.
By far.
My point being, he just got knocked out for the first time. Are we just going to ignore that because it's Ilia Topuria?
Yeah.
I do agree. Topuria would do the same to Dustin, don't get me wrong. But when you have an elite chin, never been cracked, and by the way, he took a shit ton of damage in the last Volkanovski fight. He also got hurt against Justin Gaethje fight. Beautiful performance. People tend to forget he got dropped in round. I think it was round 3 or round 4. I'm not sure, but he got dropped in that fight. He didn't score that as a knockdown, but he got dropped, right? And then he got dropped against Elia, and then he got knocked out in that fight for the first time. Now I do think him at 155 is better. But the last time he was at 155, he didn't bulk up as much, but he got hurt 5 times against Poirier when he was in his prime durability-wise. So am I just going to expect that Poirier power is not there anymore and he's not going to be able to land big shot or hurt him? I think it's kind of silly to think that Poirier is going to land on him. Holloway has always been hittable, and he has done a better job recently against Justin Gaethje to minimize damage. But I think also a part of that fight is Justin was staying on the back foot and he got his nose broken in round 1. But when he did pressure more in round 3 and 4, he had more success. And Poirier is he's not gonna stay on the back foot. He's gonna pressure. He's gonna land big shot. And I just don't see that fight playing out too much different than the last one. I think the mistake that Poirier did in the last fight is he went crazy trying to finish him in round 1. He landed 51 significant strike. He threw 100 significant strike in the round. And after that, he shoot 8 takedowns in that fight. I think that was a mistake to shoot as much. And, it didn't help his cardio. But he still hurt Max after that fact, right? So Max took those shots and he got hurt bad in that fight, but he took those shots when he was in his prime. I can't say confidently that he's going to be able to take those shots against again a power puncher that's going to hit him multiple times after being knocked out for the first time. I don't think Dustin's going to knock him out, but what I'm saying is I'm pretty confident it's going to hurt him. And on volume, it's going to be close. The last time the striking numbers were close, I think Holloway is going to land a bit more volume, but I think Dustin's going to land a bigger shot, and it's in his hometown. Every time you land a big shot, the crowd's going to go crazy. I don't think the fight's going to play out in the grappling, honestly. I think it's going to be a striking fight, a striking war, where, again, it's going to be close on volume, but Dustin's going to be the one landing the bigger shot. And if you go to distance, Dan Hooker, Max Holloway, all these GTD war, Justin Gaethje, he finished him late, never mind. But if Max is not finishing Dustin is not going to quit in his hometown. And he's also in the best shape, I think, in recent years. The guy is shredded. I'm also going to talk about some narrative, but I think he might be on the steroids for his retirement. I've listened to his interview. He said, right after I'm retiring, I'm getting on the steroid. I'm not kidding. I'm getting right on it right away. Why couldn't he just get on them now for his last fight?
Start.
Yeah. I mean, it's
and
not
he looked
wrong.
in insane shape. Coincidence? Maybe. But again, I just don't think. I know Max knockout Gaethje. It was good. We all cash on that. But he's never been like a big KO guy recently. Like in these type of fight, you win striking based decision. I just think that when he's out power, he tends to struggle. And even the Korean Zombie fight, he knocked him out, but he got clipped multiple times in that fight. People kind of forget again. But yeah, I just think that fight is really close. But Dustin is fighting at home for his retirement, and he put the work in clearly if you look in his shape. And what I've heard in this interview, he's not the type of guy that's going to go out there and not give his all in front of his hometown. So the retirement is concerning. But for a guy like him in these type of fight, like, he's not going to quit. You're going to have to put him out, right? Same for Max Holloway, by the way. But I think he should be a slight favorite, guys. Honestly, he beat him twice already. He's fighting at home. He has more power. He's shown me ability to hurt that guy 5 times the last time they fought. And Holloway's coming back after the first knockout loss in his career, right? And it's shit ton of damage too. And he looked to be 45 years old. So yeah, I think it's the diamond. And I hope he does it for his retirement. Will be like insane. But yeah, it's gonna be a close fight. Honestly, just think Dustin should be a slight favorite. Like, I think he should be minus 125, and he's an underdog. So I gotta bet.
All right. That sounds good. That's the show, guys. Let's do the BTL parlay real quick and get out of here. We have won one BTL parlay with Liam already.
I'm not doing it.
Yo, you're not going to let Jewish Better's son go to college? You're going to take that from him, Javi?
Yeah.
Don't do it. All right. I'm going to go with who wants Roman Kopylov minus 230?
I'm not doing it.
No.
Even worse.
All right, Key, what do you want? What do you want your leg to be? Jav will do if we force him to. What do you want, Key? What do you want, Liam?
I'm not putting any money on that parlay, especially with Kopylov being.
All right, so I'll change my leg. You guys go, and then I'll pick my side.
Give me Big Mouth.
Okay. I got Crout minus 300.
Holland, Crout. What? All right, I'll pick.
Okay, give me Judice.
Judice. See, knew we'd get him. And then, what is the odds on that so far?
Plus 111.
So we need a dog. Kyler Phillips. I'll take Kyler Phillips. But what's that make it?
381.
Done. Book it. Again, Holland, Crout, Judice, Kyler Phillips, plus 381. Yeah, I was going to do Span. That's the funny part. I was going to do Span.
I was about to say, okay, I'm not doing it. I was so ready. But yeah, I mean, that's a good one. If we don't catch that one, we retire a BTL.
Yep. All right. Sounds good.
BTL
If this
parlay
misses, the BTL parlay is going away. And if it wins, Jewish kid gets to go to college. That's how it goes. All right, guys, that's the show. Liam, thank you again for joining us, bro. We always appreciate it. It's always a fun show. You got your Patreon going, right? You got your own show on what is it, Thursday night usually you're gonna do it, or Wednesday night?
Yeah, it's going to be Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern. My guy Wiz and myself are going to be going live to go over the whole card. I will have more tape done by then. Some of the fights that I gave you a little bit more of like a generic preview, so to speak, I'll have a little bit more details fine-tuned. But overall, I'm excited to get into some fights. God bless. Good luck. Enjoy the fights to each and every one of you guys. I appreciate you guys having me on. And I hope that you guys have good luck this weekend as well as myself.
Appreciate that, Liam. All right, Drav, obviously on a heater right now. Got to join his odd chopper.
I'm about to go on a vacation next week.
He's kidding. He's not going on vacation. He's going to be working hard. We got a bunch of events in a row, and also Dana White Contender Series comes back. We got PFL. We got everything like that. It's going to be great. Join his odd chopper. Key, what's going on your side of the world?
Same old shit. We got a bunch of bets locked in already for this card. PFL's Cape Town, and I think they're in South Africa. They got some bets on that. Hopefully, whenever lines come out for that, Fury FC's out, CFFC, good title fight over there. I mean, it's a lot of good stuff going on. Now it's a great week to join the Dub Club and DM me. I dropped 4 units worth of parlays on Sunday. All you gotta do is like my post and DM me to get them.
All right. I'm going to like his post and DM him and post him as my bets, and you guys will get them for free. Join the Discord. The link will be below in the description. I'll put everyone's link down there. Thanks again for joining us. Peace.